What's going on, everyone? Welcome into another Forward Progress live watch along. It's Sunday Night Football, Packers and the Seahawks right here on Forward Progress, part of the Hammer Betting Network and presented by FanDuel. I'm Rob Pizzola. I'm here with you for the remainder of the night. You know the drill. It's Sunday Night Football, which means I'll give out some plays going into Sunday Night Football tonight. A few props that I like, an SGP that I like as well. And then over the course of the first half, Clive Bixby is going to join me. We'll recap the day that was. We'll look ahead to next week. Lots of games going on next week. As a reminder, like D2 said in the chat, smash that like button down below as we get into it here tonight. New digs. Yes, Kevin, I don't have the greatest setup just yet. Still trying to figure things out. So I'm going to be a little bit all over the place tonight. I got a TV hooked up to my right. Eventually, I'm going to hang it over my screen over here. My monitor setup is all messed up. Bear with me tonight. I will try to do as best as possible within this new setup, which I'm still getting used to right now. Very eventful day. Ryan says, rest in peace, Tortellini. Gone, but not forgotten at an animal shelter. He's going to be okay. I promise. Yeah, it was a very eventful day for me today. I didn't have a lot of time to bet this week because of the move, but ended up with a lot of bets. Oddly, that's the way it works out. I actually had a bet on the side or the total in every single NFL game on today's board, which was quite the roller coaster for me. I don't have anything, though, for Green Bay, Seattle, side or total tonight. A little bit of late money here on the Green Bay Packers on the road. And I've already made one terrible addition to my card today, which was the Tennessee Titans +6 this morning. Evidently, doesn't matter that Cincinnati's missing the entire left side of their offensive line when Will Levis is just going to give away the game. And that's on me. But I don't feel like forcing another bet here right now on what ended up being a good day for me. My numbers, as shown on Pizza Buffet earlier this morning, would lean towards Seattle at this number. However, I do respect the market. I think that there's a very low chance that in the long run, I'm going to be able to beat these types of limits that are in the market right now. So strong lean Seattle, going to end up passing the game. We've seen some over money here. The weather's not looking as bad as anticipated. I think that's part of the reason why we've been bet all the way up to 48.5 now after being 46.5 earlier this morning. Lots going on today. Let's start with the parlay for tonight. Give people a chance to get in on this. I don't have a great feel for the game, but I do lean towards the Seattle side. So I'm going to start there, which is Seahawks alternate line -2.5. You guys know the drill by now, but I'm basically selling points here to take the home team. And I don't want to say 1 and 2 are insignificant. Every number is significant in its own way, but I'm happy to sell to move it out to Seattle -2.5. In games like this, I like to pair or usually go to the opposing quarterback to put up big numbers. That's what I'm going to do in this instance. I'm going Jordan Love, 275+. Love hasn't really gone off in the latter half this year. But again, if Seattle's going to win, there is some correlation, even though it looks like inverse correlation, with Jordan Love going over. And then finding a third leg here so that we can use the profit boost token over at FanDuel. I messaged Hitman before the show today. The only reason I mention this is because if this leg loses, we can blame Hitman. Whereas if it wins, I will take the credit for it. But I said, Hitman, who is one guy tonight, preferably on the Packers side, because we want to pair with Jordan Love in this type of situation, that you think could way outperform his market numbers? Basically, who should we target with alts? He said Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed, we're going alternate receiving yards with Jaden Reed in this matchup, 60+. Now, Jaden Reed, obviously his numbers have been way down over the latter half of the year, but Romeo Doubs back in the lineup tonight. And if we start to go back and look, when Romeo Doubs is in, Jaden Reed still occupies his regular role, and Dontavian Wicks loses a bunch of snaps. So we've seen Wicks in the last couple of weeks without Romeo Doubs at 48 snaps, 39 snaps, 89% snap rate, 78% snap rate. Prior to that, though, when Doubs is in there, he's basically hovering around 40% or less. So that's where we're going here tonight. Doesn't pay out a crazy amount like our usual ones, but it gives us a rooting interest in the game. I'm in on this SGP for tonight. Hopefully, we can cash it in some capacity. Numbers getting popped. Such is life. It happens. Dictator Jay's in. That's what I wanted to hear. I'll give Jason the opportunity to give a PGP if he wants to before the show. I just want to get to a couple of props that I do like. On the Seattle side, let's start with the receiving yardage market. I hate to do this. I don't want to rag on the guy or anything. He had a great game last week. And honestly, I can say I'm completely wrong about him. But Zach Charbonnet's receiving yardage numbers are a little bit too high for my liking. Now, again, we are sponsored by FanDuel. I would recommend you play at FanDuel as much as possible, but you're not going to want to do that for Zach Charbonnet's receiving yards tonight. We're going to track it at 26.5 for purposes of the show, but you do want to look around here because you have some 29.5s out there, 28.5 flat on his receiving yardage under. That's where we're going to go on the Seahawks side. That is going to be a full unit play. I think that's been adjusted up a bunch. Second play is chalky. I will warn you right now, if you don't like to play big favorites, don't play big favorites. It's totally fine to pass on a play within your limits. This one's going to be a bit smaller, which is a half unit. But I'm going to play Dontavian Wicks under receptions. Same deal goes where you want to shop around. You can get under 2.5 receptions at minus 150. FanDuel's priced at minus 190. There's some shops where you could potentially go under 1.5 at plus money. It's a half unit play. I'm not getting nuts with it, but I like Dontavian Wicks under on receptions. Those are the main props. AJ Barner TD, Merry Christmas. Well, first of all, Reek, Merry Christmas to you as well. Happy holidays to those out there who don't celebrate Christmas. I don't discriminate. Whatever's going on, it's going on. Touchdown score market. The one that I do like in this game is Tucker Kraft at plus 270 at FanDuel. I would play that for about a quarter unit, $25, $30 in that range. Tucker Kraft plus 270. Again, the price is extremely important on these, so don't go crazy and be logged into a sportsbook and play it at plus 200. It's not about the player necessarily. It's about the player and the price. So we got to get Tucker Kraft plus 270, FanDuel. Play that. I don't love anything on the Seahawks side. Potentially we'll find something in-game, but that's where I'm going as well. A lot of other comments I do want to get to here. Great tip on the Herbert under rush yards today. He couldn't move. Wasn't me that gave out that tip on Pizza Buffet. It was someone else. I will say I suspected that Herbert's injury was worse than it was. He actually started the game really fine. And then there was one play in the game where he got tackled from behind and got up very slowly. And in the second half onwards, really struggled. Really struggled. Good call on Rachaad White. Anytime touchdown earlier. We got Rachaad White. We got Rashad Bateman. Somebody messaged me that they played 2+. Congrats on that. Wish we could have gotten the Kendrick Bourne one. Caught a big one down the sideline. And unfortunately, 2 for 3 on the parlay. But individually, 2 wins. And by the way, I recommended playing them individually. Tampa Bay alts was a great call by Judah. It sure was. Cashed one of those. I got pretty lucky with the best bet on New England, Arizona over, but such is life. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get unlucky. I had some Indy Denver under 44. Neither team had like more than 3 yards per play. I'm exaggerating, but there was no offense in the game. I ended up with a push on that. In fact, to be candid, I gave that out at 43.5 on the Sunday night show last week, and that would have lost. So tough one there. Although, quick recap of last week, you're sitting pretty on both overs for the football games tomorrow night based off current market. Lost on Indy 5.5, lost on that under, hit the Baltimore team total over, hit the Baltimore spread, hit the New England over 3-2 from last week's show on Sunday night. Clive says he thought he gave Pittsburgh Philly under. What a sweat that was today for me. Don't know how we got there, but we did. The NFL, I hate it, but I love it so much. I truly, truly love it. I think that's going to be it for plays for tonight's game. Oh, look at this. Little middle in the Denver game. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. I lost my train of thought. I saw a bot, lost my train of thought. Was going to do something, try to pull up some sort of number, completely forgot what it was. Such is life. Tom McPeak asks, sharp to score -135 DK or no +140 circa. Typically, the higher end players, you're better off taking the nose on them than the yeses. I won't say for sure in this one. I think didn't have a great read on that one way or another. Is Reed okay to take at his base number 2 for a straight play? Absolutely is. Although you must know that it did get bet up a little bit right before kickoff as well, or right before I started the stream as well. Someone asked me for the reasoning on Wicks under catches, purely snap count based, where Wicks likely is the person that loses the most in terms of snap count with Romeo Doubs back in the mix. Bung Magoo all over Reed. This is the Bung Magoo comeback today. Magoo, I didn't mean to roast you on Pizza Buffet today for someone that you liked. I don't remember who it was. Does anyone remember who it was that I roasted Bung for? Oh, it was Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard had no catches for no yards. Pizza 1. Bung 0. Sorry, Bung. I appreciate that you're back. All right. Before we get started with tonight's game and before we bring in Clive Bixby, I do want to remind you, make sure that you're betting the NFL on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. I love the sportsbook product. It's great. I actually hit a bunch of in-game stuff on FanDuel today as well. It's very easy to navigate, use in real time. Tons of markets, which I love. And right now, all customers get a profit boost every single NFL game day. That means you can pump up your gridiron winnings multiple times a week. Of course, you got your same game parlay profit boost token for tonight's game. And for tomorrow, we got 2 Monday Night Football games. There's a to catch a pass profit boost token as well. FanDuel has tons of ways you can get in on the NFL action. You can bet on money line, spreads, player props, and more. Plus, with super simple live betting, lightning fast bet settlement, and instant withdrawals, FanDuel makes betting on the NFL easier than ever before. Just visit FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to download FanDuel today. You must be 21 plus and present in select states or 18 plus and present in DC. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support of Massachusetts, 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. And of course, if you had a big day today, or bad day today, I should say, don't have to chase on tonight's games or anything. of that nature. It's okay to take a day, take an L, live, and you learn. It's all about the long haul, the long run. Got a loose connection here on the webcam. Sorry for that. Might just flicker in and out tonight. Don't think you guys are going to get to see what's hidden down below. Maybe at some point in time, but not tonight. I ripped some Swiss Chalet before the show today. Not going to lie. Festive special. A little bit of indigestion. A lot of dry mouth. Got that half chicken dinner. Seasoned fries. Little cranberry sauce, stuffing, and those Lindt chocolates at the end were fantastic, but a little bit regretful at this point. Last thing before Clive comes on here, I am in a new setup. I'm streaming this game tonight. It's not my regular cable. I'm going to be behind. So I can do a countdown to the game clock at some point, but it will be slower. It's okay if there's spoilers in the chat. I want you guys to react in real time, such as life. But I will get that sorted at some point in the future as well. Okay. Let's do it. Clive Bixby. Beanie or no beanie? Beanie.
Yeah, man, it is cold in Jersey. It's probably not it's not Canada cold, but it's cold enough. So when I gotta go walk the dog between the end of the 4:30s and this, it's almost always gonna be beanie.
Yeah, it is cold. It's freezing here. Warmed up a little bit today. So not quite as bad as the last couple of days. I did like this Christmas lights thing last night. It was all right, but after about 15 minutes, I was freezing my nuts off. It was real tough to survive from there. What's going on with the drones over there where you're at?
I don't know. It seems like it's getting worse and worse too. And no one seems to have a straight answer about it. It's kind of bizarre. I mean, I don't think it's normal to just have a bunch of flying lit things all over the tri-state area, but apparently we're allowing it.
Yeah, I know. This is very unusual, like extremely unusual that this kind of stuff is happening.
Yeah, not normal, not normal at all. I can't remember ever just seeing like one or two drones just flying around randomly. Maybe you'd see one near a stadium or something, but that was really going to be it.
Yeah, you got to think. I mean, listen, we'll talk football in a second, but it's got to be something military related. Has to be. That the fact there's like no answers have come out yet about this stuff. It's really weird.
Yeah, they're hiding something. It's just a matter of how bad is it really. Don't worry, the government's telling the truth. Sure, right, obviously.
Yeah, naturally. Well, I will say in the 51st state of the United States, Canada over here, I have not seen any flying drones. Nothing.
Why start in Jersey, though, of all places? I find that interesting.
So do I. I don't know. Why start in Jersey?
Maybe it's mob related.
Could probably not. The mob does not strike me as the people who have the technology. No offense. I guess I can say this as someone as being of Italian heritage, but not the most tech savvy group of people.
No, I meant for surveillance of the mob. Maybe they're trying to surveil some sort of activity.
Sure. It's a bit of a reach, bit of a stretch.
I'd call it hope more than anything, because I'd rather, this is almost an ignorance is bliss kind of thing.
Yeah, I hear you.
Lots of games. How about this game going to like almost a full 3 now? In some spots, it is a full 3.
It is late money. I don't want to mess around with that, to be honest with you. I don't have enough vindication on the Seattle Seahawks to really play into this at post, but I am kind of surprised. I didn't think this would close a flat 3, honestly.
Neither did I. I thought the 2.5 was fine, or 3 even. That was I just didn't have enough interest on either side. I'm not big on the Seahawks. I'm a little probably worse than market, but not enough where I kind of wanted to trust the Packers here, because I think I'm a little late on them too.
I've really come around on the Seahawks defense, I think, as everyone kind of has in recent weeks. Now that they're pretty healthy, Trey Brown's out tonight at corner for them, but it's been a good run for that defense. I just more so do not trust Geno yet as well.
Same.
Like Geno is where I mean, I don't trust Jordan Love either, to be honest with you. I think he's like low-key not been great either. But yeah, tough game.
We got the ex-punter, John Ryan, riling up the crowd in Seattle. Gotta love it.
All right. So I'm going to turn to my right here really quickly. If you see me doing this tonight, it's because my TV setup is on the right here. But yeah, nothing like an ex-punter getting the crowd going here, raising the flag. I'd love to attend a Seattle home game. Not in the rain, though. Preferably not rain. That would kind of suck. How'd your day go today?
Not good. Not good at all.
Who upset you?
It was mostly props. It was all props. But that's all right. I mean, those happen every once in a while. You have a day where, even though it's decent sized volume, just things break wrong.
Yeah.
I guess the reads I had that were probably on the wrong side were, let's see, Jets and Jags had a little bit more scoring than I expected. The Cowboys did a little more than I expected. The Panthers did a little less than I expected.
Yep. Some similar stuff on my end. Almost went 0 for 2 in the Panthers game. Thankfully, Dallas actually scored enough points to put that over, but the Panthers offense was an unmitigated disaster today. Couldn't get anything going. I'll read off my play clock really quickly, which I see at 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, and I got the snap right now. So you can tell I'm pretty far behind real time.
And was that first down?
That was my first down, yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay. I even went streaming tonight because I heard you saying Pizza Buffet you'd be streaming. I'm still way.
Our streaming service is DAZN in Canada, DAZN, yeah. And it's it's not the quickest. It's not the quickest whatsoever. All right, I'm gonna try to stay focused as much as possible at the task at hand, which is breaking down next week's card. If something big happens, I'll see it in the chat for sure. And you're more than welcome to react to it, Clive. But let's get it started here with next week. And by the way, we'll react to this week as well as we're going through next week's games. Just so if I see a lot of people are like, can we talk about the Colts? We're going to talk about the Colts. I promise you, we will get around to that fucking shit show of a team at some point. But let's start with Thursday Night Football. We got AFC West matchup. Jeff Feinberg's going to be pacing around at home, no doubt. Chargers -3, -120 at home. Total in the game at FanDuel, 42.5, juiced to the under. Of note right now, Circa's not open on these games yet, which I like when we get to talk about them before the Circa openers come out as well. And also of note today, some injuries that happened with these two teams. For Denver, they lost Patrick Surtain late in the game, hobbled off the field with a leg injury after an interception. He got hit pretty low. They lost their nose tackle as well, DJ Jones. It was called a wrist injury at first, but then it's been since updated to a finger injury. I don't know if that means he broke a finger, but he left the game and didn't come back. Jaleel McLaughlin got hurt as well in the game, as producer Jason has pointed out in the chat. On the Chargers side, in addition to Denzel Perryman being out, Cam Hart, starting corner, got concussed in today's game, and they lost Zion Johnson on the offensive line with an ankle injury. And I don't know that Justin Herbert is right either after watching him in the second half today. What'd you make of either of these games today? Chargers, Bucks, Broncos, Colts.
So, I mean, the Bucks obviously played really, really well offensively. I thought it was going to be a shootout with the first half. I saw the same play that you referenced when Herbert kind of got tackled behind a little low on the legs.
Yep.
And then he didn't really look great after that. Bo Nix, I know you're higher on the Colts defense than I am. I don't hate the Colts defense, but I mean, he was throwing balls right to them too. So both,
I know,
not good.
Win was incredibly fraudulent. They had 3.2 yards per play on offense. They were horrible. The difference was that the Colts turned the ball over 5 times on offense, including one walk-in touchdown by Jonathan Taylor, where for some reason, I don't know how players haven't figured this out yet, he dropped the ball before he went into the end zone. Disaster. Trick play, disaster class pick 6 by the Colts, and just blew up today. Chargers were playing a sound game. I don't know what happened in the second half. I don't know if it was a Herbert injury or whatever. I mean, the Bucs finished this game with 505 net yards of offense, 7.5 yards per play. They out-yarded the Chargers by almost 300 yards. So tough on both ends. For next week's game, my initial reaction when I saw the numbers was I thought the total was too low at 42.
So far I was the same. And now with the injury of Herbert and how he's kind of walking around, like I really can't trust it at all. So it's kind of a stay away right now.
Yeah. So for me, it's either I'm going to end up on Denver or I'm going to end up on the over. The problem is the short week is going to make this a little bit tricky. The Chargers are really coming down to earth is what's happening here in recent weeks. I know Denver played a disastrous game today, but they're likely going to face a D without Denzel Perryman, without Cam Hart. I'm not certain that there's enough here that separates these two teams. And on top of that, half the fans at this game are going to be Broncos fans as well.
Well, I think we've said this probably a couple times now too. Like the Chargers' strength of schedule of who they've played Baltimore and Cincinnati, and everyone else has been pretty much just garbage. I don't remember what they closed. The Denver close was that. Was that a Monday night game?
Denver's Monday night was Denver-Cleveland.
All right, so no, it wasn't that.
Could have been. I'm horrible. I don't have great memory when it comes to this kind of stuff, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, but Tampa, Baker Mayfield pretty much did whatever he wanted today. They had a very good game plan. He did throw one terrible pick and then another ball that probably should have been picked, like right around the 5. But, I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in the Chargers defense when they're playing a good offense, but Denver's also not a good offense.
I'm really disappointed with the Herbert stuff because I love the setup for an over in this game. Denver's coming off a horrible offensive performance. Talked about this on Pizza Buffet this morning, so it's not pass posting or anything. But the Colts D is a lot better than people give them credit for. And yeah, they just had one of those games. Denver had one of those games. They played a lot of cover 3 looks today. And Nix has really struggled so far this year against cover 3. But I do think the Chargers defense is falling off. And on the other side, Denver potentially without Patrick Surtain. We don't know yet, but there's upside there for the over. And they were missing Riley Moss at corner as well. That'd be their starting 2 corners and potentially nose tackle out of the game. That's tough. That's really tough for a defense on a short week.
Yeah, it's probably the Broncos are nothing for me as well, but no real instinct on the total. I think this would have been a setup for an over spot, but now it's just hard to say.
Yeah, I think I'm with you in that. I kind of just gotta wait. I hate these short week games though. You're gonna get like fake practice reports. This guy would have practiced today if there was a practice.
Yeah.
Useless. All right, moving on to Sunday. AFC battle. Texans clinched the division today. I'm almost certain that happened. They're going to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. I'm actually surprised that there's a number listed on this game. The number listed is with the assumption that Patrick Mahomes will be out because Ian Rappaport tweeted that he is, Saturday. Thank you very much, Beat Gamer. Forgot there's 2 Saturday games this week. This is the early Saturday game. Houston minus 2.5 on the road. Total in the game at FanDuel is at 40.5. Like I was mentioning, Ian Rappaport tweeted that this Patrick Mahomes injury is week to week. I am going to be very interested in this because week to week means a lot of different things to a lot of people. Number 2, Ian Rappaport is frequently wrong. Number 3, I believe Andy Reid after the game today said that Mahomes could have came back in if they needed him to come back.
That. Yep. Yeah, it looked like an abundance of caution at that point when they took him out. They were up 2 scores, just like 8-9 minutes left in the game, something like that. What was the look at? 3.5, 4?
I would imagine it was something like KC -4. I did actually look at the look aheads, but it didn't stand out to me. So I don't know what it was. Yeah, 4 is what I'm seeing right now. And Mahomes said that himself as well. Could have played. I want to talk about the Houston game a little bit today because Houston sucks. Okay. The offense sucks. Mm-hmm. They came out of the bye week. They averaged 3.6 yards per play against the Dolphins, 57.9% series conversion rate. They won the game because the Dolphins turned the ball over 4 times on offense. And Houston only managed 181 net yards of offense. Now, there is a clear path to success to beating the Chiefs, which is throwing the ball on their secondary. There is no additional injuries that I saw for the Texans today or anything like that. But this feels like an opportunity to fade Houston in, I don't want to say a game that doesn't matter. All the games matter and they can move up in playoff positioning or whatever. But this is a football team right now that has been middling or like well below average, I would say, in a lot of aspects for a while now. And I'm not ready to trust them at this type of price range, even with Carson Wentz potentially at quarterback. But there's also the chance that Mahomes could actually play in this game.
Yeah, I kind of like having the upside here of KC, and even if it's Wentz at quarterback, getting 2.5 at home, like I haven't liked what I've seen from Houston for a while now, and the Slowick D'Amico combination of aggressiveness, scheming, play calling, it's just, I mean. What's the movie, Forgetting Sarah Marshall? Like, the scene where it's like, do less, do less. Well, they're doing less. I mean, they really, nope, you got to do something. You got to do something. And the Dolphins lost this game. I mean, Houston was not anything special.
I fucking love that movie, Forgetting Sarah.
So
it is such an underrated comedy. Paul Rudd as the surfer dude.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Jason Segel, very funny. I'm going on a tangent right now. But yeah, the weather outside is weather. Love that movie. Yeah. I don't really know how to quantify off the top of my head the downgrade from Mahomes to Wentz. So I'm going to level with the audience right now. I can run this stuff later in the week. I can't immediately do that. But Houston is just not a good football team. Maybe we should be looking at the under in this game. What was the look ahead? Look ahead total was 44.5. It has been adjusted through 2 key numbers, 44 and 41. So maybe I'm wrong about that as well.
No, this seems like a good under spot even still. I think. I mean, I feel like 8 out of 10 shows I'm saying something about Chiefs under though on this show, and then you're kind of like, I don't know about that. But
you've been probably right 8 out of 10 shows if that's been the case, because I mean, they play a lot of unders. They had one today, obviously, which their offense didn't do a whole lot, 4.1 yards per play. Neither did the Browns. The Browns turned it over 6 times. Like, it's a little bit scary with KC, right? Like, I know the game wasn't ever close. What was the final? 21-7? 21-7.
Yeah.
You had a +6 turnover margin and you won 21-7. Seems like something's wrong in KC land as well.
Well, I mean, they still have left tackle trouble. That's not going anywhere anytime soon.
No sacks today, though. Not a single sack on Mahomes, and they still couldn't open it up.
So while we're on that, I saw the play once where Garrett kind of took one in the eye. What happened there? Because it didn't look intentional. Um,
Yeah.
and then he
He
came back in.
he came back in. So yeah, it wasn't called illegal hands to the face. It was just like a pure accidental hit in the. He was down though. I gotta say, I now I've always understood why like neutrals that hate Mahomes because he gets credit for everything. When Garrett was on the ground and Mahomes was like calling the medical personnel over, they were raving about that on the broadcast. They're like, look at Patrick Mahomes calling for the medical personnel. It's like everyone does that. Like it's what happens.
Anyone would, yeah.
Yeah, a guy screaming on the ground, rips his helmet off and is laying there. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I found that pretty funny on the broadcast. Pure class from Mahomes.
I guess that what I would say about Houston is their bright spots, their defense. It's certainly not their offense, regardless of how much talent they might have on the offensive side of the ball that they underutilize.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the spot to get involved, but I could see myself having some interest in KC here. Like it's 2.5 at FanDuel right now. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. The possibility of getting a 3 versus losing the 2.5 to get a 2 and 1.5. I would much rather wait at this point. But I certainly could see myself having some interest in the Chiefs as the week goes on here because Houston's offense is abysmal right now.
Do you think this feels like almost like a 75% Mahomes doesn't play line, or do you think this is a full? Because I think I would. Again, I don't have anything in front of me, but I might have Wentz as a little bit worse than what the adjustment's been so far.
But the adjustment's gone through 3, KC 3.
True.
So it's not so like 4 to 2.5 is not like
from the winning percentage. No, I get it. Yeah.
So like,
but I still think it's
a
little more. But maybe I'm just overvaluing Mahomes, and I've never been high on Wentz.
Yeah, that's the problem. Wentz is like he'll make you sweat a few times a game.
Wentz has got some Winston in him. Wentz has got some Jameis in him.
He does have some Jameis in him. It is true. Well, we'll see how that one goes. Yep.
Yeah.
The other Saturday game, 4:30 Eastern kickoff, is in the AFC North. It is the Steelers at the Ravens. Early market here is Ravens laying 6.5, and the total in the game is 46.5. Of note, TJ Watt hobbled off at the end of the game with a leg injury. Early reports where he was walking fine in the locker room. We'll see if that's the case. They lost their starting corner, Dante Jackson, early on in the game as well. They also went into the game with significant injuries to George Pickens, to Larry Ogunjobi, and Deshaun Elliott. The Ravens are completely healthy. We didn't learn anything about the Ravens today because they took on a disaster of a football team, and it showed because the Ravens averaged 7.5 yards per play. The Giants averaged 3.9. It was in every sense a destruction when you consider the fact that Baltimore also took 12 penalties for 112 yards in the game and still won by 3 touchdowns. I think the Steelers' offense today, was the worst offensive performance of any team in the league, off the top of my head.
It's not surprising. Steelers got a little bit exposed today, for lack of a better term. I mean, when Wilson can't throw the ball downfield, and I feel like a lot of his plays have been flukish.
Yep.
I just don't feel a consistent state of offense from the Steelers ever. And it's not that the Eagles, I think, had to do anything special defensively either. Steelers just got into a negative game state and couldn't do anything about it. And I kind of worry that that's what could happen here too.
There were some bad offensive performances today. Colts, Browns, to name a few. Both those teams averaged more yards per play than the Steelers. The Steelers only picked up 10 first downs in the entire game. They had the second lowest passing yardage of the entire day. Houston was lower. The Steelers held the ball for only 20 minutes. Only team worse than that today was the Saints at 19 minutes. They had the worst series conversion rate of any team in football today at 55.6%, tied with the Browns. They had a success rate of 35% on offense. That was tied with the Broncos and only ahead of the Colts. I think all around it was really bad. I don't see an issue with this number when I consider the current state of the Steelers, to be honest with you, Clive. Like, I think it's going to be almost a carbon copy of Pittsburgh Philly this week, where there's going to be a lot of interest from the casual bettor in backing Pittsburgh. Like, when they look at this price, you'll look at the history between these two teams, the fact that the Steelers already beat the Ravens this year, be like, it's just too many points in a divisional game. I think the number's fine, honestly, when all things considered.
I know it's the Ravens offense, but do you think the total's even still a little high? Like, do you see a path of the Steelers getting to 21 points-ish?
Well, it's not the Eagles' defense, the Ravens' defense.
No, and I get that. And while you can't judge the Ravens off of the Giants today, I think you mentioned this earlier on Pizza Buffet. I mean, the last 3 weeks they have been playing a little bit more solid football. Maybe they're slightly trending in the right direction. I mean, if the Steelers aren't getting turnovers, I don't see how they're going to generate points. Now, the Ravens could be sloppy. The Ravens lead the league in penalties. I get that too. It's just, put it this way, I don't think it's going to go to 47. I think if anything, it goes down.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm completely off on that. Maybe I'm just overreacting to a really, really bad Steelers showing today.
Well, I think the Ravens defense is much better than people give them credit for now as well. I do. The pass defense has been much improved as the year has gone on. They went from being a complete pass funnel defense, but also the Steelers are not going to be the team that beats a pass funnel defense anyways without Pickens. And
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know if, I would say Pickens is more likely to miss next week based off of everything that I've read. Like, people are saying Pickens probably back next week. I don't know. It seems like he's dealing with a significant hamstring strain. And
yeah, it's the higher grade one that is not just, a very light pull. Like, I think it's a significant injury. Yeah, it looks like in the chat, grade 2 hammy is 4 weeks. No way he's back. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't expect to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, the bot attack.
They're all over. Can't stop them. Can only hope to contain them.
That's what the Seahawks look like right now, by the way. I mean, Green Bay is just driving.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I might play some Baltimore alts in this game, to be honest with you. I see the Steelers unraveling a little bit here. I mean, I know, listen, Rob, notorious Steelers hater here. So I'm going to take the one chance I can to dance on the grave of the Steelers today. But they won the turnover battle today.
Yeah.
They were +1, and they still got smoked in the game. And it feels like they constantly are finding ways, and maybe this is something that's repetitive and less so luck. It's very possible that that's the case. But I don't know how you can sustain what's been happening here. I don't know how you can. Oh, touchdown. I get to watch the play happen. So huge start for Green Bay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dobbs just dragged them into the end zone. That's
so far. Seattle is not looking like they even want to be there. It seems broken tackles and not a good start.
Well, this is could be the Packers coming on like they do at the end of every season with Jordan Love. Very well could be.
Who's next? I wanted to talk about Dallas, but I don't think they're next on the
well, we'll go through rotation number order. So first game on Sunday is going to be the Rams at the Jets. Rams coming off of that Thursday night football game in the rain, in the basically the torrential downpour for the majority of that game. The Jets coming off of a comeback victory today where they handled the end game very poorly, but didn't seem to bother or hurt them. And when I say they handled the end game very poorly, they definitely did not need to score a touchdown on the Jags and leave them with 3 timeouts left. But such is life. Early line here is Rams laying 3 on the road. Total at FanDuel is 46.5. Just checking injuries from this week. Kobe Durant was out for the Rams. I don't think they suffered any more injuries. For the Jets, there was a few things. Tyler Conklin missed the game today because his wife was giving birth. So that happened. The Jets secondary was without DJ Reed, was without Brandon Eccles. Their slot corner, Michael Carter, got left the game with a back injury. Jalen Mills, who I think is a very underrated safety, left with a chest injury as well. This is a pretty depleted secondary. I think the Jets offense is playing a lot better. It's still boom or bust. 43% success rate, but massive EPA per play today. I kind of like the over in this game. The only issue is that it's a late December home game for New York, and I might have to wait on this, but I think the Rams offense might be like a little bit suppressed coming off of that Thursday game with the inclement weather. They can move the ball on this Jets secondary, and if the Jets have to throw, they also can put up some big yardage here. Joe Lappy says the Jets have become a dead over team. I tend to agree.
Yeah. They're also a very heavily penalized team as well. So if the weather is not any sort of big problem in Jersey next week, I mean, I think the over is a really, really good look. And I also think the Rams are a good look. I don't know if San Francisco just played so poorly on Thursday, and I'm just even talking about the second half when the weather kind of calmed down, that I've just slowly become higher and higher on the Rams. But other than the Bills game, I mean, the Rams have been okay. Not great, but okay. I I I think the market seems to love the Jets, but I think I'll have interest if the number stays at 3. I'm not going to bet it right now because I don't think it's going to go to 3.5. But I think even at the 3, I would have interest. So that's kind of where my head's at.
This will be I think our first opposite opinion of the week, where I don't want to say that for sure because I have to see there's 2 scenarios here for me in this game. One is that the Jets secondary continues to miss a bunch of players, and I'm going to take the over in the game, or the Jets get some help back in the secondary, and I probably would take the Jets at 3. That's kind of where I'm at. I can't get to this Rams price. I can with injuries, but not without.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a number where they've upgraded the Rams to in market and finally downgraded the Jets a little bit. I don't know. Was the look ahead 2 or 2.5? I don't.
Yeah.
If anybody in the chat knows,
2.5. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask on the road.
Yeah.
For 2 teams that have been generally pretty much on the same tier in market most of the year.
Yeah.
I'm just so low on the Jets. I think that's just really what it boils down to, and I might have more interest in the over than a side. To your point.
I mean, they could have easily lost today. The Jets, like it was a really weird game. Mac Jones looked really good. First of all, Mac Jones sucks, by the way. There was one play where he missed someone on a wide open crossing route in the end zone, held the ball, and took like a 10-yard sack. There was another play where he rolled out to his right and could have thrown the ball away, but took like a 7-yard stack instead. He's a complete idiot, but he looked very competent against the Jets defense today.
It seemed like the way that Peterson game planned a lot of like, let's not let Mac Jones hold the ball too long. A lot of quick passes, whether it be screens, just crosses, etc. There was just not a lot of, at least in the first 2 or 3 possessions, if I'm remembering correctly, he was getting the ball out very quickly. It was almost like, let's not let him think. Like, let's just direct him.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I'll move on to the next game, but I think that this needs, if the weather is fine, which again is a big if, and this is why I wouldn't suggest going out and blasting this early. But if the weather is fine, I think this needs to be 47 or north of 47 as a total. That's my 2 cents on this one. All right. NFC East matchup. Eagles and the Commanders. Early market at FanDuel is Eagles minus 3.5 on the road. Total is 46.5, juiced towards the under. This is a challenging game for me. Let's talk injuries first. Philly lost Landon Dickerson on the offensive line today. I did not see if there was an update on Lane Johnson as well, who I think left the game. So I think a couple of offensive line injuries for the Eagles that I have to dig into a little bit more. If anyone has more information, drop that into the chat.
I thought Lane Johnson made it back into the game, unless he exited again.
Nope, that's very possible. I didn't catch the end of the game because I had the under and I didn't want to watch it lose. That's a true story. Couldn't handle it. Landon Dickerson definitely left with a knee injury. I know that for sure. On the Commander side, Tyler Biadasz was a late scratch today because he was ill. The center for Washington, I'll talk about that in a second. Zach Ertz got a concussion. Jeremy Chin on defense got a concussion for the team. I wanted to talk about Tyler Biadasz for 1 second because the Commanders were rolling against the New Orleans Saints today. And then I honestly don't know what the fuck happened. I think a lot of luck was involved. It was 17-0 Washington midway through the third quarter in this game. It was not the most impressive Commanders offensive performance, 4.4 yards per play. They held the ball for 2/3 of the game. The quarterback switch from Haener to Rattler definitely rattled Washington a little bit defensively. But the stat that jumps out to the box score to me is that a Saints team that doesn't get pressure sacked Jaden Daniels 8 times in this game. And going into this game, I thought it was really hard to price the Commanders. And now coming out of this game, I think it's even harder to price the Commanders.
Well, I think we both said we liked the Commanders last week at -7, and thought it would probably move a little bit in that direction. So I agree. And then I have to be honest, I didn't get to watch a ton of this game, but I was surprised at what seemed like just stalling of drives from the Commanders. And I understand that like they have one of the best third down conversions in the league and everything. It just seemed like drives would go and they would stall. And if it wasn't to McLaurin, nothing was happening. So somebody else who watched the game is going to have to tell me a little bit more. But I was surprised. And then all of a sudden the Saints, were back in the game.
It just felt so comfortable for Washington. And then Haener got benched for Rattler. And it seemed like the game just completely flipped. And it's not the first time that this has happened. I've talked about this before, so I'm comfortable talking about it now. But for the purposes of in-game betting, oftentimes when that quarterback that is bad comes in-game, they tend to see a bump that's higher than their average performance because, in my opinion, and this is just hypothesis, the other team is game planned for a completely different quarterback. And now there's a new guy in there who they haven't seen. They didn't watch film of him over the course of the week. And they move the ball. But there was also these plays where Washington, I mean, there was a deep pass to Terry McLaurin late in the game. That was the most obvious DPI ever that didn't get called. Gets called 99 times out of 100. There was some other misses downfield to McLaurin. There was a Jaden Daniels first down run that would have iced the game that got called back for like a questionable hold as well. It kind of just felt like everything went off the rails for them. And then on top of that, the fucking game clock should have ran out at the end of the game. They stopped the clock inexplicably for some reason while Bobby Wagner was lying on top of Foster Moreau at like the 2-yard line. But they stopped the clock and the game clock would have ran out. So, I mean, I bet some Commanders 7. I feel so sour and sick at the end of that game. The people who bet teasers -1.5, like what a fucking shitty ending that was.
Yeah, and Daniels did underthrow McLaurin on a touchdown there too. I mean, it felt like, again, this is based on a small amount that I saw, that had to be like maybe a 5 to 10% outcome for the Saints to even, be within that 7. That's just what it seemed like. I would have been disgusted if I ended up having, not just -7 because I think that's bad enough, but to lose the teaser there too kinda
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. My gut instinct is I don't know how to price Washington well right now. And I feel like I want the fours that are available in market on the Commanders, but I'm very skeptical of how I price Washington in my head. Does that make sense?
It does. It feels like I should want there are a couple 4s out there for Washington. It feels like that should be in, like, an auto click, but it's so not right now.
Yeah, I'm with
And
you.
I'll be honest, I don't know how to price the offense on that side of the ball either now. Eagles defense has been good. Like, I would have thought over at one point, and now I see the 47.5 that's at another book in market, and I kinda wanna tick the under.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be tempted with that as well. I would. The Eagles offense, pretty run heavy. O-line injuries. Tough one.
I think what I would have thought 3 weeks ago has shifted dramatically to what's happened after the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Josh, that's
Josh
pretty good.
got $140 down on under 47.5. Well, there he is. It's better than $0. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's better than $0. Okay. Keeping it in the NFC, the Panthers off of a stinker of a game at home to the Cowboys today. We'll talk about that a little bit more. They welcome the Arizona Cardinals into town. The Cardinals, early market 4.5 at FanDuel, 4.5 -120. Should note, mostly 4s across the board. Total in the game, 45.5, juiced towards the over. For Arizona, some injuries on defense, maybe not super significant, but starting to get like cluster. Mac Wilson, who's one of their outside linebackers, left with a concussion. His backup, Jesse Luketa, left with a thigh injury. They have a depth corner, Max Melton, that got hurt today as well. Nothing super impactful, but some stuff of note. For the Carolina Panthers, Xavier Legette, groin injury today. I watched a lot of both of these games, begrudgingly, Carolina-Dallas, because I bet Carolina. And I don't want to say that they know. I hate when people say like they no-showed. They showed Dallas's defense played really well. Like they got after Bryce Young in a big way today. He took 6 sacks for 44 yards. Part of it was the Panthers really couldn't run the ball, which I found surprising. I thought that they would be able to in this game, and it led to a lot of 3rd and longs, which they couldn't convert. I also watched a lot of Arizona today, and they played pretty well. What was very evident to me, and I'm just looking up the numbers now to make sure I don't make an ass of myself about the 3rd down. Yeah. So they went 10 of 15 on 3rd downs today. And it seemed like they were constantly getting themselves into like these favorable 3rd and shorts and then just continuously converting them. The Patriots actually did not convert a 3rd down all game today as well. So interesting matchup here. I'm
Will feel low to you?
low total or low number on Arizona.
Low total.
Yes, it does feel low to me. This would be the second. I bet over on both these teams today.
Yeah, like I think 46.5 feels like the minimum, but I thought maybe I was kind of out to lunch, but no, I think this is too low. So that's what struck me more than the 4.5.
I mean, this to me is Carolina and over.
I could see that.
The Panthers defense is still bad. I mean,
Yeah.
Cooper Rush was looking great today. Cowboys averaged almost 6 yards per play, 54% success rate for the Cowboys offense today. I'm not super high on Arizona, but they're pretty efficient when they can run the ball, which is kind of why I like the over against the Patriots today. And they'll be able to run the ball on Carolina. So I don't know which one I like better. I guess I like the over with you better.
Yeah.
But I do think that 4.5, especially, there's some flat 4.5s out there right now. I think that's too much on this Cardinals team.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree. I don't really have much interest in the Cardinals at 4.5. That's for sure. This feels, again, haven't run any numbers, and I barely saw any of the Cardinals Patriots game today other than the first drive. I would think this should have been more like 3.5, maybe 4.
Yeah. Real-time movement on the over in this game, not surprising. That tends to happen when we agree. Hopefully people do find value in the early stuff. That's why we do the show.
Yeah.
That's why we do the show. We got a Dontavian Wicks catch. Is that what someone's upset about in the chat? We do.
Oh, and
for 2 yards.
Another fucking good throw.
There you go. I'm just going to watch one play here. That is a dime. To Seawatts. Someone asked before the game and I never got to it. So I actually hope that we don't get the Watson inverse correlation because I'm an idiot and I forgot to talk about it.
The more I see this Green Bay team, the more I feel like I'm going to be looking for a spot to fade them, but I just don't know when that spot's going to be.
Who's good anymore though?
What's that?
I don't know. Green. I used to think the same thing as you, but now I don't know who the good teams are anymore. Who am I going to fade Green Bay against?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, when are they going to be giving up too many points against a team that's it's going to have to be a team that's undervalued. And it wouldn't be against, hypothetically, the Commanders anymore. I mean, who's left on their schedule? Who's Green Bay have left?
They should have a Minnesota game, I think, right?
New Orleans, Minnesota, Chicago. So, I mean, maybe there is a fade spot at Minnesota, but I doubt it. And New Orleans, Chicago. No, that's it. It's going to have to be playoff time, if anything. I'm not big on the NFC as a whole. I still think the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens are probably better than Ravens, maybe the very bottom versus the top of the NFC. If you're looking at the Lions, that's how I feel. But
yeah. All right. This game is flying, so I want to get to as many games as possible here. AFC matchup in the AFC South. It's the Titans on the road at the Indianapolis Colts. And believe me,
it's a game you can bet on, Rob.
It's a game you can bet on. That's a great way to put it. Indy minus 4.5, minus 110 at home. And total in the game is 43.5, juice towards the under. I do want to say there's a lot of variance in this total in the market right now. I don't know who's going to start for the Titans, but Mason Rudolph finished the game. He also finished it with a bad interception as well. The Titans turned the ball over on offense 6 times today against the Bengals. They forced 4 turnovers, but they turned it over 6 times themselves. Of note, no new injuries for Tennessee. They were missing Jerome Baker and Roger McCreary on defense. Ryan Kelly was out for the Colts. Alec Pierce left the game with a concussion today, of note, because he's been a threat for them down the field. Both these teams were disasters today, which makes it a little bit challenging. Subjectively,
I just want them to post a turnover number, and then I'll play with that.
It's gotten ugly, man. It has gotten ugly. What was the
total?
But
somehow here? Not Will Levis's fault. It's never Will Levis's fault.
Can never blame him.
No, Mr. Mayo.
Honestly, I think the prices are fine here.
Yeah. I mean, how many times did you think you were going to see Colts 4.5-point favorites at all this year? But I don't know what to make of the total either. Like, I guess this should be an under, but I don't know. I would have thought Tennessee's time to shine would have been today. And I thought that last week too, because, they've been involved in shootouts, or Bengals teams have been involved in shootouts, and then Titans just sucked. And they wouldn't have scored the first touchdown if they weren't gifted the ball at the 20 or the 25, wherever they got it.
I mean, I will say this about the Titans today. The offense moved the ball a lot today. Like I should have never fucking bet a late bet on Tennessee today. I did. News related. What are you going to do? Titans had a 54% success rate on offense today. They outgained the Bengals. They were even on yards per play. This game had had 26 penalties. Both teams committed at least 110 yards in penalty yardage. But they always do this. Always. Like they find a way to give games away all the time. And
I mean, every time.
It's getting to the point now. It's not like it's. I'm not taking Tennessee yet. I can feel the attraction some people are going to have with Tennessee this week because it's going to be like, well, Indy's offense and this and that. They shouldn't be laying this type of price off. I'm not doing it. I'm telling myself right now I'm not doing it. I actually kind of hope the Titans get bet and I can get a better price on Indy. I'm not exaggerating.
Well, I mean, even if Rudolph plays, he's kind of a little bit of a turnover machine himself. So it's not like it's not like the Sean Watson, Winston versus Joe Flacco thing where you're going to expect a little bit more consistency, even though Flacco can turn the ball over. But you expect consistency from game to game. I mean, Will Levis, I forget whose chart this was. I saw it this morning. There was a negative play rate on an axis, and Will Levis is all the way over here.
So far to one side. He can't help himself, man. He literally can't help himself. They're a brutal team all around. It's the same thing all year. Definition of insanity. Do the same thing over and over. Expect a different result. I'm done with that at this point.
I've seen a lot of this in Twitter today too. B Gamer Vrabel was the problem. A lot of like we fired and sacked Vrabel, and this is what we're fucking dealing with. And I think it's a fair point.
100%. Big time downgrade at coach. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I'm going to skip Detroit, Chicago for now because Chicago's in play tomorrow night. Let's go to AFC East. It's the Bills returning home off of a huge win today. They take on the New England Patriots. Buffalo is laying 14.5 in the early market here. Total in the game is 44.5. Are we sure on this total? I mean, is it going to be a blizzard in Buffalo? I could always be a blizzard in Buffalo.
Yeah, I guess.
Am I missing something? Maybe I'm. Listen, I play a lot of Patriots overs. I play a lot of Bills overs. I get the potential of a December bad weather game.
Well, New England, Arizona was 47 today? Or is that what it ended up at?
40. I don't know what it closed at. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like it varied, but let's say 46.5. How is this 44.5 unless this has to be severe weather? Yeah. I can't imagine any other way. I mean, Buffalo might put up 35 on their own.
Okay, so there's a few things that are coming in the chat here. So
okay,
John says this opened 47. Patrick said 46.5, and Bart says someone setting up the number. So no one's setting up the number right now, because it's way too easy for someone to bet into and move it. It's not happening. It's got to be weather related forecast, or somebody expecting this to be weather related. I do not understand that.
It looks like it's flying up right now.
Well, because you can't set it up on Sunday night and this type of market limits. There's nothing open to bet it back into. There's no PPH open. Circa just opened at low limits. Like there's no possible way to set this up and get substantial money down back on the over in the early going.
Yeah, this just feels like a miss.
I agree. I think it's just a bad number. I just think it's a bad number. Really bad. I'm going to have a conversation with myself about the Patriots, to be honest. Yeah, like AD said, just went to 46.5 at an offshore with one bet. Yeah, you can't. but there's not enough to blast everywhere. And you're risking losing the what, like, yeah. Anyways, long story short, it's extremely, extremely difficult to fake the opening market with this many people looking at it on NFL, where one click is going to move the number a full point or point and a half. Patriots, 14.5. What are we thinking? Am I an idiot?
I thought maybe this was probably going to open at 13.5. This feels like prime Bills price now because of what they just did in Detroit, and it feels a little high to me.
I mean, the Bills are very capable of blowing out bad football teams. I
for sure.
Dorian Williams and Matt Milano both left today with injuries. Matt Milano hurt his groin. Dorian Williams, elbow injury. They're already without Rasul Douglas, DeMar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp. Pretty significant defensive injuries for the Bills. Okay, over certainly. Let me think more on the Patriots side. But yeah. Can't pull that one up on screen. Not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty interesting. At 44.5 minus 115 FanDuel, I would bet that right now.
Yeah, I mean, the screen's moving.
Yeah. All right, that's 2 thus far, Shooter. Lots of conviction on 2 totals, and they got hit. Giants Atlanta, I'll come back to afterwards if we have time. Browns and Bengals, AFC North. Jameis got benched today in favor of DTR to end that game. Early market is Bengals -7, slightly shaded towards the Browns at FanDuel, pretty much flat rest of market. Total in the game, 49.5. Bengals total got bet under again this week, flew over. I don't know what's happening there. Someone's losing a bunch of money on those pretty regularly. From an injury standpoint, David Njoku missed today. Nick Chubb broke his foot. I don't think that's impactful at all nowadays, unfortunately. A couple injuries on defense. Shelby Harris on their defensive line hurt his elbow. Martin Emerson, starting corner, left with a concussion. On the Bengals side, Orlando Brown and Cody Ford, their left side of their O-line, didn't play today. We'll see what the status is for them next week. Orlando Brown, I don't think will play, but Cody Ford probably will. Talk about a joke. The Bengals ran a trick play to Sam Hubbard to score a touchdown in this game. Defensive player. Guy hurt his knee on the play, on the trick play.
I watched almost none of the game. I saw the play, but I honestly didn't see that. Everything that I saw was Titans lowlights pretty much after that. Wow. How bad?
I don't know. He just didn't come back, and he celebrated like everything was good, and then he just didn't return to the game afterwards, and they said he hurt his knee on that play. So,
all right.
Yeah.
One, does somebody just need to check the code maybe in their model for these Bengals totals? Like, is there just like a slight typo? Because it is every week, and it seems to go over almost every week, or, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, listen, I do dumb shit all the time where I constantly bet on or certain teams just because, you know, that's your number. And I've certainly made these mistakes before.
Yeah, it's curious to me of what the like what could be the signal that the model thinks it's picking up. That's more my kind of curiosity at this point.
I'm also curious about that. Because Cincy, to me, profiles as like a dead nut over team, right? They have an offense that creates a lot of explosive plays, very efficient quarterback. Defense can't stop anything. I don't understand. I really don't understand.
And to me, it feels like, if I had to guess, it feels like more of a misread on Cincy's defensive prowess than having to do with anything stopping their offense. And then every week they just look like a sieve. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's super interesting.
Did anyone in the chat see if Kevin Stefanski announced after the game what he's doing at quarterback next week, because that's going to have a substantial impact on how I think about this game. I actually might consider the under if DTR starts, as sickening as that is. But he is not a professional quarterback. He's just not. He's just not. Okay. No other strong opinions there. Minnesota, Seattle will skip. Come back after that. Mark Horn says really quickly, why don't you think it's just a rich moron betting Bengals overs? You might want to watch my interview that I did on Circles Off with Matt Metcalf this week. He used to be the former sportsbook director at Circa Sports, but they will extremely rarely move off of non-sharp stuff.
Heavy money.
Yeah. They'll gladly take a position if they feel the number is right. So it's almost certainly not some rich moron that's moving the entire market. Stefanski, non-committal. No bueno. No bueno. Okay. I said we'll skip Minnesota, Seattle. They're in action right now in the red zone at the moment. What do you think of the neon green stuff?
I've never really been a big fan. I don't like most alt jerseys, though, to be honest. There are a few that are okay, but the highlighter green, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm with you on
You?
that one. I don't know. At first, I really liked it, and now I'm kind of over it. Kind of over it at this point. Yeah. 49ers on the road at the Miami Dolphins.
Oh my God, he did it again.
Oh, Classic Gino? I saw Classic Gino in the chat. It's got to be an interception, right?
Yeah, well, I thought what they meant was the throw before, and maybe I was just ahead because that could have easily been picked off too. But I mean, he went right back to the well.
He is honestly like he's just not it. Gino ain't it. He just does this every week. He makes a stupid mistake every week.
Is he just the next tier up of a Winston and a Levis? Because that's what it feels like. Just a little bit more consistent and does the backbreaking shit a little bit less. But boy, does he have it in him.
He makes enough good plays. Like Levis doesn't make enough good plays.
No.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
a little more YOLO-ish, and he can look like he could be very accurate, but his bad is just so bad. Anyway, Gino's just. This is why I can't get behind Seattle pretty much ever.
I'm with you. They do feel like they are never, every time they show these flashes of being like an above average team, they inevitably just get knocked back down to earth at some point. I mean, a lot of good teams do, I guess I should say, but that's, it's a tough one. Late window next week, Dolphins hosting the 49ers. 49ers, pretty embarrassing performance on Thursday night. They'll have extra time to prepare. They're going to need it. Trent Williams has been out. Dre Greenlaw came back off of his Achilles injury, left the game again. D. Winters left. Devondre Campbell didn't even take the field. He's done for as a 49er. Jair Brown got hurt at safety. So they had some significant injuries on defense in that game. For the Dolphins, they played today without both starting tackles. It's the reason they lost the game, honestly, because Texans offense didn't do anything. And Tua, when he didn't have a first look today, he kind of had to force it into coverage or he was taking sacks. Teron Armstead, Kendall Lamb were out. Jalen Waddle got his leg caught up as well and left the game, didn't come back in. Early market, Miami, 2.5, -105. Total, 46.5, juiced towards the under. My immediate thought is I can't do anything in this game until I see what the tackle situation is going to be like for the Dolphins. But if the tackles are healthy and play, I think the total's low.
I can see that. I had interest in San Francisco when I saw this number. And again, these are just very, snap initial instincts. Because I feel like these just feel like two similar, but similarly broken teams and in the same kind of way.
Yeah.
Whereas their offense used to just hum, and they both need to go into the shop and get fixed up because there's just something that's wrong and they need to be recalibrated.
See, I personally don't have an issue with Miami's offense. It's very different from what it used to look like because they don't have the downfield plays anymore.
Yeah.
But they, with the exception of today, where they were awful today, like don't get me wrong, they were not efficient at all today. But generally, since Tua has returned, they've operated as a top 5 EPA and success rate offense.
Yeah, better for sure.
And the 49ers D to me, forget about the Thursday night game. Like that, we're talking about really bad weather, inclement weather in that game. This is going to be a Dolphins home game. You're likely going to get optimal conditions in December. I think Miami is going to score in this game, provided they get Teron Armstead back at left tackle, preferably Teron Armstead and Kendall Lamb back. If they have the healthy O-line, I think Miami will move the ball on San Fran.
Yeah, I think they could both move the ball. I don't know. These two teams just feel so similar to me right now, the way that they look. Not great, but I had such high hopes for both of these teams coming into the season. Just been a letdown.
Sure has. All right, we'll skip Jacksonville, Las Vegas. That's also in the late window next week. Las Vegas in action tomorrow night. We actually have no fucking clue who's going to be quarterbacking the team next week. Sunday night football next week, when we're back on the air, it's going to be the Cowboys hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. FanDuel's at -3.5, -120. Most books in market are at -4. Total at FanDuel 48.5, juiced towards the under. Tampa Bay played really well today, and Dallas played really well today. They're coming off of box score domination against their respective opponents. Tampa's dealing with some injuries on defense. Antoine Winfield, Mike Edwards, KJ Britt. Cowboys, Trayvon Diggs is on IR. Their slot corner, Jordan Lewis, got hurt today, hurt his elbow. He has been really good this season, and that would be a big blow to them. Offensively, their center, Cooper Beebe, was out. Their right guard, TJ Bass, also left today's game with a thigh injury. So they're up against it, an interior O-line. I like Tampa Bay a lot as a team, but I don't know that I agree with this price range necessarily on them right now.
I'm also wondering about the total too.
Talk to me about the total.
Well, if you asked me 2 weeks ago if I thought this with the Cowboys defense, I would have said, yeah, just fire the Tampa Bay team total for sure. And now I'm a little. I don't think necessarily Tampa's defense is any better than they were, but what do the Cowboys look like today on defense? Like they put a lot of pressure on Bryce Young based on what you told me, but am I supposed to price them like last year's Cowboys defense when they were dominating everybody?
I want to say that in the last 6 weeks or so, Dallas's defense has been a top 10 defense in the league.
That's kind of where I felt like it was trending, and that's why it makes me hesitate. Whereas if it was a couple weeks ago, I'd want to just fire, a team total over.
Yeah.
Just take the over.
I know what you're saying. Okay, so they shut down the Panthers today. I mean, they held the Bengals to 27 last week, which is really good. And like when you consider it was 20 late in the fourth quarter for Cincy until that fucking punt block return. Thanksgiving Day, 20, Giants scored 20. It was really 13 till late in the game. Dallas won at Washington. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a strong feeling for this game. I know the chat really likes the over here right now. I'm not quite there yet on this over. It's this is where like the number to me matters. in the sense that I see all the reasons why you'd want to play a Tampa Bay Dallas over. I just don't like it. I would have wanted a lower number is essentially what I'm getting at here.
Cooper Rush isn't a good quarterback. I'm not going to say it is, and I'm not going to go and do the thing that everybody was doing. It was last year, or the year before, where it was like, hey, maybe Cooper Rush is just our quarterback. Like, that's just our guy. Like, I know that that's not true. But I do think Tampa Bay defense has been pretty bad and pretty exposable. If Cooper Rush can play okay, get the ball to CeeDee Lamb, they might be okay. I don't want to lay this with Tampa Bay, and there's worse numbers in the market than this. This is, I think, the best probably Tampa Bay number in the market. So if you like Tampa Bay at all, there are some numbers out there to grab and probably grab now.
I don't know that I like anything here yet. My initial inclination was that I like Dallas at 4, especially 4.5, which I see in a couple spots. That was my gut feel in the early going here. Really, you do have to see Jordan Lewis though.
Anybody know what the look ahead was here?
Yeah, I pulled them up recently. It was 4 as well. 4 and 47 were the look ahead numbers.
I just was wondering if it had already been bet and adjusted off of Tampa Bay versus the Chargers today, but guess not.
Tampa Bay's second half today was one of the best halves of any teams played in the NFL this year. Just incredibly, incredibly dominant second half in today's game against the Chargers. Offensively, defensively, just smoked them already.
Their offensive coordinator is a fucking beast, man.
Oh, yeah. He really is. Liam Cohen. Yeah.
He's good.
He really is.
He sets them up for success. He kind of did what, and again, very, very different. Like Baker's got one of the lowest ADOTs this year. If it's not, it's him and Mahomes that have typically the bottom two. But he gets the ball out to the right guy, the right read right away. The longer he holds the ball, that's when he starts to see problems. It's like they've made the game. Not that Baker Mayfield couldn't go through progression, but they made it simpler for him. And man, when they had Godwin too, they were humming.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, we skipped a few games. We'll get quick thoughts here. Hard to price these because there's teams that still have to play. Detroit's going to go out to Soldier Field to take on Chicago next week. There is an early market up right now of Detroit -7, 46.5. Obviously, we're going to have to wait to see Chicago play tomorrow night. We also had some big Detroit injuries today. Ali McNeil left the game with a knee injury. He got carted off. That's not a good sign for that defense. Carlton Davis, their best corner, left the game as well. One of their special team corners, Khalil Dorsey, pretty scary situation there. They had to stop the game. He left in an air cast as well. So lots of injuries that Detroit ended up suffering. Now, the Bears are dealing with some of their own. Braxton Jones got ruled out for tomorrow's game, their left tackle, with a concussion. Ryan Bates, their center, is out as well.
I think Carlton Davis is probably out for the year. I think Bart's saying something like that too, that Campbell already kind of said that. Their defense has gotten the shit kicked out of them this year.
Yeah. Caleb's been a lot better at home than on the road as well. It does feel like this total will be bet up, honestly.
Yeah.
Barring some bad weather. It does feel a little low at 46.5. Yeah, it's a tough one. Giants at Falcons in the NFC. Who knows who will start for the Giants? Tommy DeVito got concussed today. Atlanta's a 10.5 point favorite right now, 41.5. I
feel like they're going to open up the turnpike and do fucking tryouts like Invincible, and this is going to be Vince Papale part 2. Like, it's like, what am I watching with the Giants quarterback situation?
They also don't have any players on defense. They have nobody playing. Their front seven's destroyed. Bobby Okereke missed it. Their top 3 corners didn't play today, and their corners suck, but they didn't play today. I don't know. Like 41.5 is too low. It's too low. Atlanta's defense stinks. Like they don't get a pass rush. Atlanta's gonna score at will in this game.
Yeah, I
Everyone's gonna
think
score at will.
this is the same way that I thought about probably the Ravens today. And I think we said it last week, and Trunken just posted it. Falcons team total over.
Yeah.
Like that feels like an auto fire.
Yeah. I'm with you. Other two games that I skipped over here.
Looks like they're going for it at the end of the half here.
Yeah.
With 4 seconds left.
Or they're trying to get it like
Slightly closer.
Yeah. Don't think they're going to snap it. That's my guess. Because if they get it down to like the 2, they can run the ball on us like a sneak, and then try to take a timeout really quickly if they don't get it. So yeah, I think they're going to kick a field goal here. Minnesota at Seattle. It'll be interesting to see what this one ends up getting adjusted to if the Seahawks get blown out. As I was going on air tonight, I took a look, and Minnesota was laying 2.5 at Seattle. The total in the game was 44.5. Yeah, if Seattle continues down this path, this is going to reopen 3.
Probably. That makes sense. But see, Minnesota has to play tomorrow too. Like that's.
Yeah. I'm on Minnesota tomorrow. I think they're going to smoke the Bears, but we shall see.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping the Bears just need to end the season, get their best draft pick that they're going to get, and like let's pick an offensive-minded head coach that doesn't suck.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, covered all the games except Jacksonville, Las Vegas. We're just going to not end on that one because I don't really feel like it, and I don't really have an opinion.
Yeah, fair enough.
Halftime, 20-3 for the Green Bay Packers. Taking a quick look at the box score, 7.6 yards per play for the Packers, 5.2 for Seattle. Seattle has the only turnover of the game, and pretty much a destruction. Someone asked about second half stuff. Obviously, it is dependent on what the line is going to be in the game, but I don't want to just bet Seattle because they're trailing in the game. This could easily end in a blowout based off of what I've seen in the background here so far. You have any thoughts on second half? Just taking a look at the market up on screen right now.
No, it's just that Green Bay's been able to have whatever they want. I don't know if Seattle's even. I don't know what kind of adjustments they're going to make on either side of the ball to really help themselves. Yeah. This could be a little closer. I mean, that pick was in the end zone, but I mean, probably should have been picked the throw before too, if I'm being honest.
This is my problem with Green Bay. Like, look at all the green on the screen.
Yeah,
there as Jason has up in front of us.
That's some dark green.
Yeah, that's like really, really good success on offense for the Packers across the board. Now, that's not to say that Seattle can't make some adjustments at the half here, but I worry about the turnovers for Geno in this trailing game state because they're going to have to push the ball. And in addition to that, Jason, if you don't mind bringing up those numbers one more time, Green Bay has, look at those early down rushes, man. Like 16 plays, 56. Like they are getting success on the ground. And if they continue to do that, you're not going to stop this offense because normally it's Jordan Love having to bail them out in some 3rd and longs. There's a lot of boomer bust stuff there. And on the other side, Seattle can't run the ball. That's a real problem. That's a real problem right now.
I'm going to be looking at missed tackle stats tomorrow because, while we're doing this, it's hard to watch very, very closely. But it did look like even when Jacobs is getting hit, he's just taking guys with him another couple yards downfield. Are there any backups for Green Bay that look good for an anytime touchdown?
Ooh, that like a last touchdown of the game.
Yeah.
I like the way you're thinking. Take a look at what we got going on here. Who's been getting the secondary carries? Chris Brooks or Emmanuel Wilson? That's the problem with this team. Yeah. I don't know that I like those, to be honest, at those prices.
Yeah. Nothing great there.
I like the thought process.
Well, somebody did bet down Chris Brooks because it was between Wicks and the defense before, so somebody is thinking the same thing or similarly.
Is Kenny McIntosh priced for Seattle? At some point, if this trends towards a blowout,
he's up. He's 9-1.
See,
yeah. There's nothing that I see that I like here to play with.
These guys got they got it locked down on price. They got it locked down. Geno passing. Okay, let's look at his updated passing line. Actually, before Jason even pulls it up on screen here, let me just pull up what he's currently at right now and try. I like to try to make a number before I actually look at the market. So he's at exactly 100 passing yards. They're down 20-3. I would go roughly like 1.6 times his first yard pass. So probably an updated line of 260 is what I would guess. 255.5. Minus 114. Basically 260 when you account for the way the distributions work. Not
Seattle
good.
Gets the ball, right?
Okay. Here, Levi. Fourth quarter touchdown, Wilson plus 1,500. I could get behind that.
Yeah.
I could get behind that. Because he's got one carry in this game. It's been Jacobs 14 for 73. I still think they ride Jacobs into the ground in the third quarter here. If we're going to play Brooks and Wilson, we might as well get a better price by playing them fourth quarter.
True.
What's the Brooks one there, Jason, as well? 18-1. We don't have to parlay them, but individuals 15 and 18-1. Okay, I like this look. I'm
looking to see what turnover prices I can get for next drive.
Yeah. Dominic says going to have to sweat out the Sharps receiving under with this script. Luckily, he's at nothing right now, but you're right. We are going to sweat. Wicks has one catch for 2 yards, only one target, and game script wise, it's looking okay. Don't ever want to say it's looking great. And then no targets yet in the passing game for Charbonnet. But yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Clive, thank you for joining.
Yeah, good times.
Good times. Hopefully people got some early value on next week's lines. Market did move through a few of these games, so just do what we can. Try to get good prices.
Congrats on the house. Enjoy the new office.
It's going okay. Little by little. I haven't done a move in a long time. Unpacking
they're the
boxes.
worst.
Oh, it sucks, man.
They're the worst.
But I do have a second house on the property, a party house, as I'm calling it. It's not it's like a 500 square foot type of guest house type of thing.
Guest house. Yeah, nice.
But I'm going to turn that into a banging spot.
Beautiful. Love it.
That's the plan.
All right, Nails. Peace. I'm out.
All right. Clive Bixby, everyone. Follow him on Twitter at Clive Bixby41. Watch out for the drones, says Drunken Goon. Peace out. Thank you very much, Clive. All right. Second half incoming here. I'm going to have to leak at one point. Probably going to have to refill the water. I don't want to leave you guys with Jason for too long. I know that he told me he's not wearing pants, so I don't know if he can come on camera. Oh, there he is.
I told you not to tell people that I wasn't wearing pants, so that's the thing. So yeah. I feel like that's like some form of like an HR violation. I don't know.
It can be at some companies, but when the CEO is also HR, human resources, he gets to make the rules.
Okay, so my question to you is, how quickly can you get through the trap door to pee? Like, because is that how you exit?
That is this is a very old. My house was built in 1865. Okay.
Oh wow.
Confederation of Canada was 1867. This was built before Canada was a country. And there's been extensions added onto it over time. So there's like these random little spots around here that kind of lead to nowhere. This is nothing but storage space behind there. It's where I store, obviously, the dead bodies. Honestly, it's just losing tickets that I store under there.
I thought it was the other side of like Dan Lifshat's little trapdoor because I feel like it's in like the same spot.
That one was a weird one as well. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just storage in there right now. It's like I said, all those losing bet slips that I've placed, they all just get thrown in there.
They all get thrown in there.
They're going to be left behind as well at some point. Yeah.
What do you do with your losing like physical bet slips, by the way? Like just toss them?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I keep them just in case there's anything I could do with them for tax purposes.
Okay.
But most of the time they just get tossed. Yeah. So they're around until I'm just like, what the fuck am I even keeping these for at this point? Yeah. Sick Boy says keep them for a tax man. He knows.
Okay.
He knows. Sick Boy. Do you think it's Sick Boy or Sick Boy? Sick Boy.
Sick Boy. I don't know. I don't see the difference between what you're saying there. I'm like,
it's the way that it's enunciated.
Sick Boy or Sick Boy?
Sick Boy or Sick Boy?
I feel like it'd be Sick Boy if there was no space. There's a space though. So it'd be like Sick Boy.
Got it.
Like that's sick, boy.
J-Rod, we can't deduct total losses. Listen, I'm the tax questions, I'm not going to answer tax questions. Talk to an accountant. They'll figure it out for you. That's all I can say on the matter. That is all that I can say on the matter. Yeah. It's just it's nice to have to not pay taxes on gambling winnings, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
not that you would know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to win to not pay taxes on them. So I got crushed today on that. That Jaleel McLaughlin has me like crushed. I was watching it and I knew it just felt in my gut. Anyways.
It's tough.
Do you ever have those bad beats?
Oh yeah. All sorts of it. A bad beat every day. Washington -7. I would consider that a bad beat. It's fucking disastrous.
It helped me out, but
yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Such is life. I got a good beat. I mean, I hit New England, Arizona over on a bunch of garbage time. What are you going to do?
Yes.
Second time it's happened to me this year.
Yes.
No?
Out of curiosity, you guys talked about this with the Miami Dolphins. I don't know why my brain instantly went to this, but like, is there a reason why you think they changed up the way their offense plays this year at all? Is it like
the Dolphins?
Yeah. Like, what do you think is the contributing factor towards them having a different style of offense?
Probably the shifting way that defenses were playing against them towards the end of last year. But DeMeco Ryans had a great game plan today. Like they took this underneath stuff away big time. Mm-hmm. That's the problem when this team faces like a good defensive coach that has talented personnel. It's a real problem.
Okay.
Real problem.
Okay, I was just wondering that.
I mean, left tackle, right tackle being out is going to hurt any team as well.
Yes, of course.
I kind of hope. See, like part of me wants Seattle to make a game of this.
I just want a lot of JSN. My namesake.
He's been racking it up.
He's been great, but more. Feed me more.
Somebody else already used feed me. You can't steal that.
I feel like Toon stole that from
Zeke. But he added a hashtag in front of it. He 100% stole it from Zeke. Let's call it out.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to like. You can always steal stuff. That's fine. But like, you can steal ideas. Ideas aren't copywritten. It's not illegal to do. Mm-hmm. Some of the best ideas are stolen. Facebook was stolen.
Yeah, that is true. It's a true story. I got to tell you, man, I'm really looking forward to listening to the favorites on my drive into the office tomorrow.
You're like a masochist. I don't know why you do
it's going to be
I can't.
It's going to be a eulogy. I think they lost every single pick.
Really? Okay, so it's like Schadenfreude then.
It was disastrous. Like I'm trying to think off the top of my head if anything that they said this week won. They have Green Bay tonight though.
Maybe we get what's Seattle live right now?
No, I don't. They're gonna win one. I think that's
We'll
the
give it
that's
to
the
them.
whole claim to fame is that they've never had a winless week.
I'm sure after this they'll still say they haven't won a win this week, or they haven't had a win this week. Or wait, a losing week. What did you say?
Yeah,
Winless?
winless week. They haven't had a winless week. They haven't had a week where they got completely swept.
I see. Okay, that's hard to do though. That's harder. That's the same as having a all winning week.
Yeah.
No
Fez
loss.
had himself a day too. And Fez sent out a live bet on Seattle plus 11.5 during this game.
So Hitman must be crushing then.
I don't know what's going on, but I know Fezzik already had a 3-star play on. I'm a Fezzik subscriber now, by the way, just so you know. He also added a 2-star play on Seahawks plus 11.5 live. So he's got 5 units going on this game.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was wrong about the Bills. I was wrong. I bet Detroit today. The way that, like, my initial reaction, and it's important to, I actually just want to talk about this really quickly. I think a lot of you guys know this by now, but some of you might not. You might just see, like, be here for the first time or whatever. As a bettor, you always have to react to new information as it becomes available, right? So I personally would never have an opinion that can never change, because stuff changes in football. Yeah, back when I was talking about the injuries, agreed. But as the week went on, it actually turned out to be the complete opposite. Detroit got much healthier. Anyone who was of concern ended up playing, whereas Buffalo didn't. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I'm curious if anyone in the chat has tried the Jeff frozen Gatorade maneuver. Oh, is this going to be a return? No, never mind. The Jeff frozen Gatorade maneuver. Have you tried that yet, Rob?
I haven't. I don't have Gatorade in the house, so I'd try it right now.
It is genuinely life-changing.
Yeah.
Whose
life is it changing? Your life. It's not going to change my life. I'll tell you right now, it's not.
It's life. No, it's good. It's good. It's really.
This
good.
Is the half frozen Gatorade.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wrote in the pizza buffet this morning, it's a great day to freeze your Gatorade and bet on Justin Herbert in no interception. And of course, for only the second time this year.
Saw that.
I mushed it. I'm sorry, Jeff. Jeff's not here yet, but I'm sorry, Jeff.
Well, he's here in spirit. He's joined backstage, and he'll be in shortly.
He's on his way.
I am going to take a brief 2-minute break.
Sounds good.
And leave Jason with the chat here. Please do not leave. I'll be back as quickly as possible. But I'm going to watch the second half with all you guys. I just need to take a leak and get some more water as well. Maybe an alcoholic beverage if I could find something in this house. I just don't know where it is right now. But all right. Be back in 1 sec.
Sounds good. All right. You know what that means? It's question time. It's question time. Also, chat, please remind me to go JSN. Remind me to ask Jeff about his opinion on Nathan Janke posting all of his snap counts to Blue Sky. I was supposed to do it last week. I forgot about it. And then this week, I'm supposed to do it on Thursday. I forgot to do it. But yeah. If I already talked about this, I'm going to try and not address this anymore. But I was advised not to talk about where I was for the last week from my lawyer. So if you can stop asking, that'd be appreciated. So we'll just leave it at that. Yeah. All right. No questions in the chat. That's very unusual. Very unusual. Jeff is ready to come in. So whenever he's ready, I'm going to pull him in. Yeah, I'm doing well. Here, let me be clear. I'm doing okay. Comment might be onto something, and it was probably because Rob realized that he couldn't do a watch along. So it's like, we got to get him back from wherever he was. Comment, you got it. What the heck, Dictator J? Anyone tune into Pizza Buffet this morning and see Anthony Glenn talking to himself in the chat. We all know Anthony Glenn is Dictator J, no? I feel like that's the case. Is Rob moving into a mansion? I have no idea, but from the sound of it seems like he is. So from the sound of it seems like he is. How many F-word teams in the playoffs? Oh, three. That took me way too long to process. 2 are on bye. 1 is, yeah. Thank you, Cahill. I noticed that. I'm like, what are you talking about? F-word teams? What does that even mean? Jeff, give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I'm going to bring you in. All right, we're bringing in Jeff, and we're also going to bring in Rob too. We're all back. The gang's back together.
Boys are back in town. You ever familiar with that song, Jason?
Yes, I'm not like.
Or does that predate you?
No, yeah, it predates me, but definitely familiar with it. Before we get into anything, Rob, I don't know if you have to ask Jeff a question, but I wanted to ask him about Jeff. There's a guy on Twitter, PFF Nathan. He posts snap counts on Twitter.
Can you hear me?
Yep. He posts
the underdog cashes.
Oh. Go for it.
I'm looking for PFF Timu, who didn't post his charts this week. It really annoys me. Timu posts the charts for the entire league as to who, if you're a fan of a team, who you should be cheering for. And he also posts the charts that if you're a fan of the team, who you should be cheering for draft position. And he didn't post them. But you can't start This is the thing about the internet, Rob. You can't do something.
If you're a fan of the Chargers, you cheer for the Chargers. It's pretty simple, Jeff.
What? No, but I just know for everyone. I want to know. And for the draft chart, I don't know. But yeah, listen. I got to turn my earphone up. These fucking headphones suck.
You ever ripped into these Swiss Chalet Lindor chocolates?
I mean, over the years, yeah, Swiss Chalet, and my kids love Swiss Chalet, which is pretty funny because kids are pretty cheap there. But
yeah, but do you remember back in the day when we were young? Do you remember when we used to go to Swiss Chalet back in the day? They used to bring out that little treasure chest for the kids, and you got to pick stuff out of it.
Yeah, I actually remember that.
They don't do that shit no more. They also used to bring out a bowl of hot lemon water for you to dip your hands in. Do you guys recall this? Jeff, you for sure remember.
Yeah.
What happened that they don't do that anymore? How much does it cost to do bowls of lemon water?
I don't know. I go to Swiss Chalet so often it doesn't register. I don't know what everyone is laughing at.
Jeff was never young. He just spawned at age 33. That's what I was laughing at. What I was laughing at.
Oh, good times. No, it was a great day. Things are going. Had a lovely day betting. Chargers got their ass kicked, and Herbert threw a pick.
Yeah,
but I only lost 2 bets today.
I'm
quite pleased, and I told you I'm pressing, and I was looking for a sign. I'm on the Packers here, nice. And I'm thinking I want to bet the Packers to win the Super Bowl because I don't know, looking for some other horses.
I get that. How did it get to 3rd and 29?
They really suck.
No,
they got Geno's taking a ton of sacks, but they had an eligible man downfield. They had other penalties.
The Charbonnet yardage is going to kill me here in the second half. I need Charbot to take a dirt nap. I don't actually want him to, but if he could just, Did you bet the Blues with Moretto?
Yeah, he told me to bet the Blues. He told me to bet it. I told him I wouldn't even. I actually did just look because I was looking to see. Because I was looking at Leaf score and I saw that the Blues were playing. That's the only time I noticed. I told Moretto, Rob, it's like when I bet the golf in the false swing.
Yep.
The results just sort of blend in with the football. I thanked Moretto for the pick, but I said, I honestly won't even know if I win or lose. It's just going to be this hockey bet that's just blurred in around a pocket of footballs. But yes, thank you, Moretto. I think I even got the worst of the line, but I didn't care. My first hockey bet of the year.
Well, soon enough, you can be promoting that as a win streak, and you can go tout, Jeff. That's the way they do it. Just got to hit a couple more. Once you go 3-0, easy.
Well, yeah. You see, what I would do is I would just copy. I would copy the edge work picks and then post them as my own, and then.
Well, we don't have to pretend that edge work is winning people money. We don't.
Okay, sorry, I don't know.
Let's actually see what's going on there.
Rob, so you moved, new place, camera looks sharp. Moving sucks. Like, even without kids, it's like gotta be the worst. Once you move, you're like, I hope I never have to move again. You hope where you're moving. Well, that's not true, because you always want to like level up, right? Like, moving on account of leveling up in life is always a beautiful thing as well.
Yes.
And I'm sure you did level up on this move. But moving sucks. Like, every part of it.
Oh,
I had to move it. I had to move in with like my parents for 3 weeks just because like the timing of the sale, and thankfully it did. But like, I just wanted to kill myself. Every part of it.
You know what? Truer words have never been spoken. When me and my wife really wanted this house. In particular, like, there's just certain things that we've been looking for.
And you've been hawking like this specific house, or it was on the market for a while?
There was a bidding war on this house in the market because of, I don't know, it's just a bunch of random things, but it's a bigger property in the sense that like there's a lot of land, you can put in a pool.
Love it. Let's go.
There's a lot of stuff that we liked about this.
Good.
So when we bid on
you and others, it seems.
Yes, there's 7 bids that came on this house on the same.
Woo!
Yeah. And I said, whatever, like, I'm gonna do what it takes.
Said Blue Horseshoe is buying this house.
Bingo, exactly.
You said blue. You were like Steve Cohen with with Soto. You're like, just listen. Tell me what the best offer is. I will beat it. This is not the issue.
I've been getting a lot of. It's an old house, so is it haunted? I don't know yet. I will wait to see if it is haunted at some point. But
stop that.
We put the closing date when we put in our bid. We put the closing date on my birthday, which just passed, December 12th, because I'm like superstitious, and I'm like, it's good luck. Let's just do it. December move. The day we moved was -10 Celsius for Americans. It's 14 Fahrenheit. It was windy. It was fucking cold. Now, I didn't do the moving myself. Like, I paid for movers.
Yeah,
plus EV move of the week. Pay for movers. Don't move stuff unnecessarily.
Don't move stuff, and don't think that you can just offer your friends pizza and beer and think that's acceptable. Just pay for movers. Well, I don't know how old you are, and I don't know what you got to move, but just pay for movers.
Just do it.
Pizza and beer doesn't get it done in this economy.
It doesn't. Tua would have had a stroke in that weather. Movers worth every penny.
I had a stroke in that weather. I don't know which day specific Rob is talking about, but I got caught. I got caught against the wind. Oh my! I wanted to die last week on a dog walk.
Oh yeah, those are tough, man. Those are tough. But I didn't bring furniture for the most part. Just a few things, like my desk, my office desk, I brought with me. But everything else is just like being delivered over the course of the next week, and it's just so much.
When do you close on your old house?
Done. It was the same day. We went out, left one day, the same day, and moved in. But yeah, it's just like these little things that I don't want to do. Like, I don't want to hang the TV, so I'm gonna literally go on like TaskRabbit tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
I have a hot tub now. The amount of like tasks.
I'm not a hot tub guy. I don't know how to put like the fucking bromine and shit in there. I'm like, I gotta pay someone to come and do. There's just like a million tasks that I have on the list, and I'm just like, I don't want to do these things.
And then like, yeah, I don't know. The boxes sort of like linger for a bit, but that's all right. Like, you live there now, and hopefully soon it'll feel like a home.
It already does. It already does.
Good for you, because that's weird. Because I'm like a fragile, like I'm a delicate flower. So I go into a new place, and I'm like, okay, I live here now, but like I'm not calling you mom. Like, just because you live there, like feeling like home is like a different feeling than like So I don't know.
No,
I don't know. Will it feel like home until your TVs are up, Rob? Can't feel like home
once
with a team.
once I got my office setup done, it felt like home to me. And then once I got my coffee.
So this is the house that had to make you give away the tortoise.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I could have definitely put him in this room. There's the trap door here. And I could have easily put him on the other side. It's funky though, because it's like that part of the room is low head. I don't know. No regrets. No regrets. But did you look at the agenda topics for Circle Back tomorrow?
You know, I was gonna get to it, but no, I haven't.
Yeah,
I'll get there.
There were so many things that I could have included.
Well, I mean, I feel like that thing was very polarizing. And I guess what I would say about that, Rob, and maybe I'll like at the risk of repeating myself tomorrow, but without talking about your endeavor, is when they do like one of those things, because my buddy who likes to bet, but he subscribes to Masterclass because he's like got a real job and he's really successful and he's like a team leader and he does presentations, and I guess he sees there's a benefit to that thing and just helping him and that stuff. So he was amused with that. And I haven't asked him about this, but like when they do something on like presentations, right? Or like leading your team or barbecuing, right? Barbecuing.
Yeah.
Are there like thousands, like 1,000 barbecue stands who are like, those guys are idiots. That guy doesn't know how to barbecue, or that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard for a presentation. So I imagine, I've never been in the ecosystem of that thing before, Masterclass, but I'd imagine that is like prevalent into any video that they do.
Yes.
You don't do that to your meat. Who's this guy on the thing? Like,
it doesn't matter.
And betting is like, because everyone in betting thinks they're a fucking expert.
Well, like Gary Kasparov did like a chess one, and people were like, fuck, like you guy's a grandmaster of chess. What do you think he's gonna talk about in a 1 hour course? He's gonna teach you like everything he knows in his head about chess. Gordon Ramsay did like a cooking one. There's a I watched a ton of these. Steph Curry did one on like jump shooting in bat. Like, what's he gonna,
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't know. Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess there's a lot to talk about. Feels like that gave a lot of tentacles.
Yeah.
It's always busy season. I feel like the holidays are gonna like they peak. People are just lollygagging more.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, the reality is I already knew what the reaction was going to be long before the class was released. It was recorded a while ago. Been making some edits for a few months. I strongly believe that the content is very applicable to like 98% of people. Obviously, the sharpest people on gambling Twitter are not going to get a lot of value out of a betting masterclass. Also, the company name also hurts it because it's called masterclass, right? And people think like, oh, it's got to be like you're going to learn everything about sport. It's a very basic entry-level class is what it is.
Yeah. I'm sure they do like teaching you how to make a Tom Collins. And then there's people like that's yelling at the guy.
Ooh, Gino's limping around right now. Gino's down. Gino is down. Oof. This is Joe A erection time right now. Sam Howell.
This is good for Seattle and Arizona play again, Rob? Probably not. No, they played like twice in 3 weeks last month.
Yeah.
Or this month.
Yeah. I'm just watching this hit one more time. So this is not a flag. Early Bird Capper says low tackle should have been a flag. It's not a flag because Gino jumped in the air. Just so you're aware. If he was planted and he had both feet on the ground and like a throwing motion, you can't go. That's probably an ankle sprain right there. Sam Howell season. Sam Howell took about 60 sacks last year.
Your Joe A joke didn't register with me.
Now you got it. It's okay.
Yeah, sorry. It's slow. It's been a long day.
All right.
I built Oh my God, Rob. These hands, they do not do assembly required. And I had to build all day watching football, building a fucking
F1 car?
toy. No, like a little toy. No, not a big toy. I don't even know how to explain it, but like a store. Oh, it sounds so much bigger than it is, but it's not small. Like a store for my kid. Like it's like a cash register like area. Oh my God, no. It was hard. That's all. I feel like a hero, honestly.
James C. Bringing back most industrious thing those hands can do is sweep Papa's factory.
Yeah, listen, these hands, I'll own it. These hands, they are not assembly required. My dad didn't build things either.
Well,
So yeah, listen, like Rob said, you pay the movers. But
Pay
this
the
one
movers.
I felt I could do. And honestly, the instructions now, they're like for dummies. Like everything is like labeled almost like too much. If
Right.
that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
be like a true idiot to fuck it up. I just sent a picture. I just sent it to Jason. I built that. I'm like proud. And it's just like screws. All I had to do was screw stuff, and I was proud of myself. Some like carpenter masterclass would be like, "You idiot! I gotta build that with my own hands."
Yep.
I
I think we got a soundbite we could work with for a long time there with Jeff saying all he had to do was screw a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, well, it was like insert this board here, screw it in here. It was all that, but I feel like I worked today. I think the Chargers got dog walked, so
Well, they got worked. They got worked today.
but that's okay. We're not above getting in the organism that is a football season, Rob. Like the Chargers hadn't gotten dog walked yet by anyone.
Mhm.
So they were due for that's what I built.
Okay, I see what you were trying to. I could see why you had challenges describing what this was. It's a little storefront, like you said.
Yeah, but it could sound like so big or so small, but it's just like
So
for
what do
a
the kids do
5-year-old.
with this? Like one of them goes and pretends he's like a cashier behind the.
Yeah, my daughter loves thinks I've always got to shop at her store, and sometimes she just sets it up on the couch, and she got like a cash register, so now it's like
Honestly,
a store.
That's very nice. It's very
Yeah,
nice.
it's a holiday. It's a holiday present for the holidays.
What do you usually buy at the store?
It's just their own things. It's their own toys. It's like their own candy in the house. You know.
Do you feel like they have some good value there that you could like take advantage of on like candy or toys?
Do you ever ask if you could go behind the curtain in the back of the store?
Jeff is just ignoring us.
No, I was reading. Someone wrote a long-winded comment. What
Jeff,
was
you let them sell you your own weed? from the
No,
storefront?
no. That's away from them. That's
No?
away from them.
They don't get to see that.
No, they don't get to see that. But they've like found the pen before because it like can fall out of the pocket.
Oh
Like,
no.
it'll just be sitting there on the couch. And then like I don't know, my daughter had such a bait comment to my wife, like, "Oh, that's daddy's like special something."
Does your daughter make you sweep her store's floors?
Yeah, technically, I do sweep that floor from time to time. Yeah,
Well,
that's okay. I deserve it.
look at that. Look at you, man. You slaved on an NFL Sunday to put together a storefront for your kids, man. That's 98% parenting right there.
Well, I was still like watching football, so it took like 10x longer. And when vibes are high, like the building got going. When vibes got low, it got going down. But you know, if the Denver Broncos didn't win today, it probably would have taken a lot longer to build.
Could have made it a sportsbook counter. Is what you could have done.
Yeah, I guess you could have. You could change those. You could change those labels.
Well, you know what? It's good karma. You deserved your great betting day. There you go. You did a good thing for the family. And
There's some. I'll tell you what, though. Yeah, the Chargers got dog walked, and I don't know. I don't even know if they'll beat Denver this week because everyone was moving at like 20%.
Did you watch Patrick Surtain slowly walk off the field at the end of that Broncos game and fist bump?
Why did he get hurt?
He did, yes. On an interception, he got low tackled. Looked like he got hit directly in the shin.
Okay, well, we got our own injury problems, so I won't feel sympathy.
I saw Cam Hart got concussed today.
Yeah. I bet is he good? We just don't really have depth. That's
you don't want to lose a starting corner. I mean, it's
yeah. He got concussed. He won't be back for Thursday. I don't even think. I actually don't think he can. I don't think he can.
And then Zion Johnson got hurt as well.
Oh, he fucking sucks. So when it actually first happened, I actually was a little bit happy because I thought it was Trey Pipkins.
Okay.
And then I was less happy when it was Zion Johnson. But that's whatever.
These guys. So these guys suck. But knowing that they suck, the alternatives at the backup positions.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, maybe it's like worth a shot.
Yeah.
But I doubt it. Yeah.
Jordan McFadden is the backup to Zion Johnson. He was also out today. So I imagine it's going to be Jamari Sawyer that moves over to left guard.
Oh, good. Good. He was good last year.
Okay.
Rashawn Slater, he was one of the lone bright spots from last year. Why doesn't he even play? That doesn't bother me.
He's the backup to Trey Pipkins.
That's insane.
Oh, man.
The Chargers were calling a timeout with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left today, Rob. I almost had a knip shit.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Get the fuck, let's go. We're not above being dog walked. Accept the dog walking, but let's go home.
Okay. Different game altogether. But fucking Brian Daboll today. The guy, they're down 3 touchdowns in the game. This guy is calling timeouts on defense with like 4 minutes left in the game. What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that for him.
I just don't understand. I don't understand some of these coaches sometimes. The game's over. Move on. Your season's over, dude. What are you doing with calling these timeouts? I don't understand it. Big play here for the Packers. Let's see what goes down. Christian Watson, that's a catch.
Good play.
Red zone.
Yeah, Rob, you got to get your setup. You can't be on like generic. You can't be on the streaming clock here.
So I got satellite being dish being installed tomorrow. I got to get as close to real time as possible. I can't do this Rogers Ignite bullshit. That's like fucking 45 seconds.
Daboll, do you think Daboll gets fired?
I got to tell you, I don't know. But I can't. Every time I watch Daboll, he aggravates me. He gets my blood boiling. Like, he's always yelling and getting mad. And I understand your team is shit, but buddy, you're the fucking coach. Like, figure it out.
Okay, let's do this because there's 3 coaches fired, right? 3?
Yep.
Philly, obviously not. Pittsburgh, not. Chargers, Tampa, no. Steichen, probably not, right? They made him start Flacco for a month. Ursay's yeah, he's good. They got to build on what they're doing. Could Zach Taylor get fired?
Yes.
Now, with Mike Brown, would there be a willingness between like Ben Johnson to take less money but get a coach Joe Burrow? Like, would Brown even be willing to consider paying? Like, Mike Brown will. He said this about the Chargers last fall. Like, they're not going to pay a coach, and they paid a coach. So maybe Mr. Brown will pay a coach. But could you see Ben Johnson ending up in Cincinnati? Well, could you see Zach Taylor getting fired? And then that's where Ben Johnson, if he's actually waiting for his spot to call his shot, that's where you go.
It seems the rumor was that Ben Johnson wanted Chicago.
So, okay, that'll be there. But that could change if Cincinnati is open.
Yep. Or if Caleb like just stinks and he doesn't want to go there.
Oh, we'll see them, I guess. I don't know. What do you got to say, Jason? Okay. Oh, that was a Caleb. Okay.
That was a jab. That was a very pointed jab.
Okay, so obviously, in Dable. So what's your official lean at the moment on Zach Taylor? Yes or no? Fired?
My lean is minus 200, not fired.
Okay.
Because the Bengals are a poor organization.
And I forget, because I'm a skis bot. What'd you say a minute ago? Your consensus on Dable at the moment?
That one's closer to a toss-up, but I still feel like he'll be around.
And then, okay, Peterson's for sure. That's like in the 95th percentile, right?
I think so. I think Peterson's done.
And then what do you think about Mike McDaniel?
I don't think he's getting fired.
I don't either. And other than that, I think the only one left would be potentially Packers. There it is, baby, on ice.
I thought there was a chance of McCarthy a while ago. It's not going to happen anymore.
What? You don't? Yeah, you think he's going to keep his job, right?
Yeah.
And then
who else is there that could possibly?
Antonio, the Bears is fired already.
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. Like Brady could maybe say, like, we got to fire this guy, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm here now, like this guy can't be the coach.
I'm with you. Gerard Mayo, do you think he?
There's been, I almost want to say, I was just distracted this weekend. I usually read everything. I want to say Rossini put something out that was essentially, there's some people familiar believe that Kraft is like committed to Mayo for next year. Mm. He's the worst.
Oh yeah, he's bad.
He is. Yeah, he is the worst. The sooner the better. They figure something out there. I don't know. Kraft. This is like Kraft's like handpicked thing that he's like seen 4 years out, right? So he's going to be pretty stubborn here to try to give this maybe as much of an opportunity as possible. Yeah, like Patrick said, he's committed. But some of the pre-snap stuff, I don't know if that's his fault because he's not like involved in the offense, but I don't know if there's a worse team that respect to that.
Oh, man, this guy said, Rob, did you see the Mayo play calls when they ran? I did see those. I was very depressed at that time. Mm-hmm.
Like, sorry, I guess you said minus 200.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the what's going on in the chat right now. It seems like we have a fake Anthony Glenn account. We have two Anthony Glenns in the chat. One is real, one is fake. Well, just another day. Just another day here on a Forward Progress live.
I don't know, like, what is there's like an imposter of a chatter?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I see what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Does it matter? Do you care?
Do I care?
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, if other people care, I'll make them both go away. I don't want to actually ban the real Anthony Glenn again. We're going to have to ask some real questions to see who the real Anthony Glenn is.
It's honestly a shame the Bills aren't the 1 seed.
Why do you say it's a shame? Just because you think that they're the best team in the AFC?
Yeah, I want to play the Chiefs in the playoffs. Wild card weekend. More less than the Bills. And then Rob, the internet's gonna yell at me, like, because it could be Chargers at Bills. Yeah, Chargers at Bills, and like, I don't know. Are people gonna make me take my nephew? Because I sure as hell don't want to go.
Of course, you're gonna have to go, Jeff. You fucked him last year because you didn't want him to see Easton stick. Now you got to take him.
I know, but I'm 40 years old. Do you think I want to deal with the Bills guys in a playoff game?
Jeff, not only are you going to have to take your nephew, you're going to have to put him through a flaming table. You're going to have to power bomb him through a table. Or let him do it to you. You lay down on the table, you get him to do like an elbow drop. You'll be like, Uncle Jeff, This is for not taking me to SoFi last year. And he jumps off and he elbow drops.
Are
you
you honestly get at it? If that if I go outdoors to the Ralph in January, we're like good for life. Because when that game ends, the Chargers lose by 4 touchdowns. I just want my pillow and a fucking bong load, and that's it. I don't have to be responsible for getting a kid out of there safe.
Yeah, that's.
I need my own chaperone.
What if you bring the storefront that you built and start selling booze to Bills fans at the tailgate?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't want to deconstruct that to put it in the trunk.
You pay a mover to do it, no? Pay a mover to do it. No, it's not a problem. Sam Howell, this guy cannot. He was put on this earth to be sacked. How many sacks do you think Sam Howell can take in less than one half of football?
Put on this earth to be sacked.
Yeah. You sacked 65 times last year.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh my God, he's taking another one right now. Oh, he got out of it? No, he's just going to take a sack. He just decided he's going to take it.
He's going to take it. He's going to take it, Rob. And that is me. That was a pretty boring fucking quarter.
Not going to lie.
This game's been over since 3 minutes in.
These are the tough ones to honestly.
Yeah,
Jason, get in here for 1 second.
Yeah,
I got to commend you, bud, for doing Thursday Night Football. Because if it was me, I don't know. There was like a solid group of the nails that was in here for that chat.
Who played Thursday again?
49ers Rams.
It was so bad. I forgot.
You want to know something though, Rob? I did the third quarter and I got to be on when the Rams had like a nearly 11-minute touchdown drive, and it was the fastest quarter maybe of the year.
So,
amazing. It was maybe a 3-possession quarter. Okay. Nope. Anyhow, good luck. Good luck. I'll see you in the morning. Tomorrow you should be good. You'll get the double header.
Yeah,
that'll work.
I'm looking forward to doing tomorrow night.
Are you planning on you're going to do that downtown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got our Circle Back recording tomorrow. I'm recording an episode of Circles Off with Andrew Mack, the Ginge Face Killer.
I loved great episode last week.
Yeah, Metcalf is amazing.
That's the sort of shit that I found so much of that so fascinating. Hearing him talk about it.
That is like a real bookmaker, and it was a pleasure to.
And then hearing him talk about the groups, to me, that's so, because you're like, whatever, that's I don't know. As a not pro bettor who obviously gets how pro bettors works, but that whole group thing, that was, I don't know, I found that so intriguing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
If you haven't watched, I assume everyone in the chat's probably part of that, but if you haven't,
if they haven't,
circles off, I think you've done.
Yep. You can listen in audio form. Just apparently there were some ads inserted in the wrong spot, so be careful because you might lose some eardrums listening to a Sephora ad or something like that. I got to go back in and fix that. But yeah.
All right.
Can I quickly jump in here on the Sephora ad?
I'm going to leave.
All right. Later, Jeff. Enjoy the night.
I was just going to say that the ads are personalized to each person. So whoever tweeted that was the biggest flex to say that they have a girlfriend or a significant other who they buy stuff by.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of people tweeting it. So it must have been different ads.
Well, it's I don't know. I guess Sephora has been running ads on our stuff because I guess they're trying to get males to get gifts for their girlfriends.
I don't know what I don't think it's a matter of whether or not it was a Sephora ad.
Oh,
I think it's just a matter of ads being inserted in random spots.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got to get to the bottom.
Okay. All right.
We got to get to the bottom of that. I don't know how I'm going to survive another 15 minutes of this game.
We need.
Luckily, we have a guest in the fourth quarter. Austin Mock, The Athletic. How are things?
Good. This is definitely the most boring game of the year, though. I feel like this is maybe the most lopsided, though. Or one of two competing teams, not one horrible team. This is pretty bad.
It is bad. I have some Seahawks to make the playoff stuff from the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
It's just
I have some NFC West that I'm terrified of now because the Rams somehow won by not scoring a touchdown.
I know. Very random question. That sweater looks really comfortable. And I got to know specifically what's going on there.
It's the Nike Sabrina Ionescu's. My daughter's like, it's like a pinkish coral.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to, I got a wide range of colors that I go with. But yes, very comfortable.
You look like Timothy Chalamet with that pink jacket on game day, man.
Listen, man, he's gonna be like give up the movies and become the new McAfee on game day. He was spitting out like he might have been the most knowledgeable person on the set there.
I know. I'm still in like this lonely island here of like not being super impressed with that. But as it's been explained to me, because I don't watch game day a lot, the bar is so low for the celebrity guests that just him knowing a quarterback's name on one of the teams was enough for people to start getting really excited.
Yeah. There's some that are just like, like who you taking in, Miami, Ohio, and Buffalo, and just like Buffalo, like that's it. Like no, we can't even get like a one-liner, make it up like we like them to win big or something like that. The bar is not high.
Yep. Well, I mean, the guy came prepared. He had a sheet of paper in front of him, had a rundown for each game. He had a lot of pizzazz behind what he was doing. And that's all it took.
Yeah. It helps when you're an actor, I guess. He knows how to sell it. That's what he gets paid the big bucks for.
That's true.
Put on a good performance.
Fourth down coming up here at midfield, as that was incomplete to look like Christian Watson, I think. So we got a punt, I think, incoming. Don't know what the Packers are going to try to do here.
I'd be shocked.
I'm going to guess that they're just going to line up at midfield and try to draw Seattle offside, because that's what all these teams do nowadays. And I don't know that it works. I don't know the last time this has actually worked. Now that I say that, it's going to work. You guys are ahead.
I feel like it's kind of like similar to the like you might have like one or two a year across the whole league where it's worth it for them to try it, even though it's like a 1% success rate.
I think you try it no matter what, because
you have nothing to lose.
You do have something to lose. And here's what I did notice. This happened maybe about a month ago. I don't remember the specific game, but it was almost this exact same situation that the Packers had here, where it's like 4th and 2 at midfield. And they came out and they couldn't draw the other team offside. They took a 5-yard penalty. Then on the punt, the defense was actually lined up offside. So they got the 5 yards back. Would have been an auto first down had they not. So there is situations where the defense will commit a penalty that you're now no longer going to get a first down for.
What's interesting is I don't think it happens if you're doing it at like your own 30 as much, but like in this situation, like giving the punter more room to punt.
Yeah.
But like some coaches decline it and some don't. Like I would love to know the rationale for each, because I would be inclined to take it every time, because like I don't want you to actually think about going for 4th down. Like that's
exactly. And I don't want the scenario like it just mentioned where defense jumps offside or something like that. And I would take the penalty.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I don't care if they have 5 extra yards to punt. Like how much does that actually, or 5 less yards? Like, are you really? That's really making a difference in the touchback percentage here. I don't believe it.
I just long for the days where the Steelers would come out on 4th down with the offense out there on 4th and 2, and they'd snap it to Ben, and he'd fucking pooch punt it down the field. Do you remember those?
The pooch. It was like I don't know if he made it like popular, but it was like a common thing, and like that is gone. Like nobody risks that anymore.
I know.
Nobody. I guess the quarterbacks are more athletic these days, but I guess they just don't have the foot-eye coordination there to pin a team deep.
Well, it was like they would never have someone back there to receive the punt, so
Mhm.
he would. It was just like a way of like
a roller. Just
roll it down there.
get it.
Yeah, and those were the days. But now some teams don't even put someone back there on these punts anyways to receive,
Right.
which is really
Yeah,
weird.
you
Like,
think you just hit that soft, like little humpback line drive right over the shortstop's head, get a roll in there inside the 10. But
you know what we don't see.
I can't remember the last time I've seen that. I
must have been Ben.
Push punting forever.
It must have been Roethlisberger, unless anyone knows of another quarterback that's punted.
I know college, it's a little bit more frequent. But I cannot remember the last time I saw an NFL push punt.
Also, that no longer really in existence is the old coffin corner punt as well.
That was a game mode in Madden. I remember, nobody does that, which is interesting.
Because then you don't have to have someone actually down the ball.
Yeah, how many times we see the like balancing act, like diving, and it like squeezes through, gets into the end zone. Maybe it's just because refs have no idea how to mark that when it goes out of bounds.
So
like,
I actually,
that one will be easier to a degree.
There's some sort of like triangulation process that the refs have on these punts, so that they
the
can
one ref
figure out
holds his hand up.
Yes,
and the guy goes,
right. So they have a way of getting these fairly accurate, but I would feel like coffin corner punts make sense because you don't have to have. How many times does a punter make a good punt? It starts rolling, and then like some asshole that's going to down it steps in the end zone, right? Like you remove that part of the equation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I get like you would think maybe there's data there. They try it and the punters just can't do it.
Oh yeah, there definitely is.
Punters 20 years ago, they were there.
This is 100% done because of some sort of data decision that's been made that I'm not privy to. I'm just speaking to really liking and enjoying those punts. Sam Howell's bad, dude. Bad.
I remember so he had like first round vibes like going into his last year at North Carolina, and then I believe they lost 4 of their 5 offensive linemen going into that year. Like he had a really good like year. He was coming back, and they were like, "Oh, he took all these sacks because the line was like not good and bad." And now we're seeing like, nah, he's a sack addict.
Yep. Yeah, the 65 sacks he took in Washington last year were no fluke. No fluke. Someone in the chat, by the way, says Tom Brady did the pooch punt as well.
I think in that era, probably every quarterback or close to like everyone had, because we weren't kicking the 55 plus yarders very often. Right. And we definitely were not going for it on 4th and like anything more than 2 yards. So it was like, oh, hey, we're going to get him here. So I bet there were, I guess you did go back and look like the Mannings, how many career punts do they have? I guess that'll be all.
No, but they're not athletes, the Mannings. That's the difference. Remember when Eli Manning used to sack himself? Yeah. Brady has more athleticism in him. When Eli Manning used to sack himself, that was some incredible stuff.
Yeah. Who is, if you had to like Madden rating, 99 is the best. Where are you putting athleticism for Eli, and where are you putting athleticism for Peyton?
That's a really, really good question.
And are there worse athletes out there at the quarterback position that you can remember?
Off the top of my head, no. Like Peyton at the end was the worst athlete.
Oh God. Well,
like
any
Peyton at the end was
tough.
The
fact that they won the Super Bowl that year is in like, I guess it makes up for all those like good indie teams that just couldn't figure it out in the playoffs. Like he got one back. He stole one back at the end. But yeah, that was a rough year.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT who would consider to be the least athletic quarterbacks of all time, and see if it gives me an answer here.
There's a comment in the chat that late stage Roethlisberger was bad. Roethlisberger still had like a little bit of juice though. He just couldn't throw the ball anymore either. Like he didn't he didn't do it often, but he had some wiggle to him. Like Eli and Peyton had no wiggle at all.
Yeah. Mike Glennon.
I don't know if he's there as much.
Yeah,
There's gotta be
ChatGPT
someone
gave me a
that we're
bunch of
missing.
answers that I don't necessarily agree with all of them. Chad Pennington was he had like a pure noodle arm though, Pennington.
Yeah.
Like that was tough. Drew Bledsoe was a statue for a long time. Jared Lorenzen, rest in peace. But that guy was like 300 pounds.
I was gonna say that was a little different. He was like 6'8". Like
the hefty lefty, right? I think is what they called him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Big Ben in his prime. Big Ben was like,
dude, Big Ben. I distinctly
he had mobility
remember,
for a big boy.
Yeah, he used to run like a decent bit, like scramble, not like designed runs. But I also remember, like, he was so strong in the pocket, like he was so hard to bring down, and then he could like get out of the pocket and still play. I still remember him like shoving Terrell Suggs off of him in one of those like crazy Ravens Steelers rivalry games. Like, I think the last few years of Ben kind of like made us forget that he was semi-athletic when he his first 7-ish years in the league, probably, but he was never at the Manning level.
I noticed today that Bears left tackle Braxton Jones is out tomorrow, and we have a extremely rare possibility this week. Forward Progress, you filled in for Suma. I hit a best bet on New England over. Hitman lost Washington -7. That was fucking hose job of a lifetime. God. Absolute hose job. Judah won an alternate line on Tampa Bay -5.5. I actually don't remember the last time we had a winning week. So it's riding on your Minnesota -7 tomorrow. It's all riding on you. Oh, there we got a fumble here. We got a fumble.
Yeah.
That's going to keep the game going.
Okay. Maybe we get a little comeback here. A little fourth quarter meltdown.
I played Chris Brooks and Emmanuel Wilson fourth quarter touchdowns. So I was hoping that this would just get out of hand.
I mean, if you look at the box score, you would think we were well on our way, but I don't know how. Like, they still.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of those situations though. Like, look at some of these box scores today. Look at Denver's offensive performance today.
Oh God, that game was. Can we talk about the fumble going into the end zone? Like, how that's still a thing? Like,
I don't know how it happens. I honestly can't explain.
Twice this year, right? 2 times it's happened this year?
It's happened a couple times this year.
I don't want to say that game flipped on that moment, but it sure seems like it did. Like, there was some other stupid shit that went on in that game, but God, I don't get it. Take 2 more steps and then do whatever you want to do. Like,
I honestly don't get it. I really don't.
Is there anything else in sports that's similar? Like, I think like a wide open layup in basketball, but like there's still some like execution there. Like, I don't see this as like execution. Like, this is just stupidity.
Yep. I agree with you.
I guess it would be like not shooting in basketball. Like, last possession, you're losing. You like forget the time or something.
It also happened in the Bengals game today.
Did I miss that?
Dropped it on the way. Yeah, no one even really knows or realizes because, yeah.
Gosh, I don't get it. I don't.
Man,
yeah,
JSN
the Denver
going off target wise tonight. It's got 12 targets. JSN tonight.
I was gonna. Speaking of targets, I saw the Lions box score was funny with all. I think Laporta had like 14 targets or something like that, and he was second to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had like 20 or something.
I mean, both teams had 520 yards or more in that game. I
they
mean,
combined for 1,080.
honestly, there's a lot of regrets of not playing that over. Yeah, St. Brown had 18 targets. Laporte had 10, Gibbs 7. It's pretty crazy. Oh, Seahawks are cooking here. Sharbo, 24-yard run in the end zone. Fezzik lives on Seattle Live, plus 11.5. Fezzik lives. I hate this rule, but you know what? It is the rule, Andy. If you fumble out of the end zone, you should get the ball at the opponent 10, first and goal.
See, I like the rule. I'm on the other side there.
You like punishment.
Yeah, like I understand like your end of it, like the defense did nothing, but like I do agree that it's like harsh, but I think there's like that's the rules. That's like in the end zone.
Rules are rules.
Yeah, you know, like it makes sense to me in a way. I get both sides, but I'm fine with it. Because like, what's the best case scenario? Like, what would you do if you had the chance to change the rule? What would you make it? It's like a do-over. You have to go back to your own 25 and start over.
maybe like a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot or something like that.
Yeah, I just like that's a like my thing is, I guess if it like you recover a fumble, like why does the defense, because they recovered it, they get to keep the ball not out of bounds? Like that's like if the offense fumbles out of bounds in the regular field of play, should they not get to keep it because they didn't recover it to get the ball back? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We can go around in circles all day.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Do want to point out Jamar Chase, plus 420 offensive player of the year.
I know.
What was that 2 weeks ago?
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, like
you got the Burrow passing yards, good number. You got a lot going on there. Yeah,
just the Bengals, man. I'm benefiting from their horrible defense.
Look at that. Still there.
420.
Yeah. What was going on with I didn't watch a ton of Eagles and Steelers today because I had the under and I was getting set. But it felt like Kenny Gainwell was in the game a lot today.
Yeah, so Barkley, I don't remember when, he took a hit. I think it was like before the half, and they kind of like he still had his helmet on, but he didn't come back in. And then he like played in the second half too. But I think, and then he like kind of came up like kind of gimpy late, like on that ridiculously long drive they had at the end. So I wonder if it was more of like we got to spell him. I mean, he still had, 21 touches. So
yeah,
but I think it was partially that, and he got banged up a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked if he maybe was a non-participant on Wednesday.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either. Yeah. I would not be surprised by that either.
Don't freak out about that.
Yeah. What's the MVP market going to look like? How big of a favorite is Josh Allen going to be tomorrow morning?
Well, it's open at FanDuel if you want to take a guess. If you want to, what do you think? What would you price him at? If you were pricing him,
yeah.
What would you price him at?
I would price him at minus 1,000.
Pretty good. Are we going to pull it up, or should I tell him?
Well, I don't know if producer Jason is still awake or not. I think he's been arguing with Anthony Glenn in the chat all night. So
minus 900. So you're pretty good there at FanDuel. The Barkley talk was ridiculous.
Lamar's got to be the second choice now after today. 5 tutters.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I know that there's a Lions fan in the chat. Oh, there is. Got it going. I know there's a Lions fan in the chat, AJ. But when Detroit scored a touchdown to go down 14-7, and all the Lions fans at Ford Field started chanting MVP for Jared Goff, I had a really good laugh. I'm like, you guys are fucking losing at home to the Bills for one. Second of all, it Josh Allen then proceeded to go for 382 yards and 2 tutters in the game.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Goff's numbers look pretty good at 494 and 5 touchdowns. but he's not
that game. So I had some lines, regrettably. I knew it was bad. It was like the wheel route that Ty Johnson that Allen put, like
it was on 4th down.
It was pretty decent coverage.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, all right. And then the pass was just perfect. And I was like, all right, Josh Allen is he's still on one. We did not get the Rams performance post last week's game. The Bills just kept it rolling. But he's slowly going into Mahomes territory for me.
Oh yeah. There's a pretty good argument to be made that Allen's better than Mahomes right now. I mean, it's more of a question of like, who would you want to have going forwards? Yeah, I think that's a better question because definitely Allen's had the better year.
I'll say, I think my brother-in-law asked me today, who do I think the best team in the NFL is? And it was regarding the Chiefs. And I was like, I don't think it's the Chiefs, but in the regular season, I'm very confident it's not the Chiefs. I'll wait for what the playoffs, because they kind of did this last year, except they weren't winning the games a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think they were the 3 seed, if I remember correctly, in the AFC. So
I mean, they were a 5.5 point dog to the Ravens in the playoffs.
Yeah. Sign me up. I'll do it
Sign
again.
me up. So I will say this year's Chiefs does have more legitimate weaknesses. Like they can be exploited in the passing game. They really can't generate explosives offensively.
Hollywood Brown is if they can get him healthy and involved, that'll be really big for them.
It will be. It definitely will be.
It's just like that's the pain of like, oh, the Chiefs are vulnerable. Like, well, here's this really explosive target that's the biggest weak point they have on their offense.
Yeah. I need to dodge some Charbonnet yardage here on this down the stretch, which is receiving yardage down the stretch, which is not going to be a fun thing to cheer against because Howell's going to be fucking dumping off like, wow.
I think that might have been a fumble. That was honestly, when he got that ball out was magical. It was actually magical.
No, but I think it actually might be a fumble.
Yeah.
I just saw the play for the first time in real time.
Maybe not.
Yeah, you seen a replay already?
Empty
Maybe. Palm?
What did they call?
One angle it looks like a fumble, and then the other angle it doesn't.
Wow,
what did
that's
they call
weird.
on the field officially?
They called it. I believe
pass.
they called it incomplete pass.
Yeah,
that's going to be an incomplete pass. Although,
but the ball's not out of his hand when the defender knocks it,
swipes it.
I also wonder. I would be interested to know is that pass going. It would go forward. Yeah. I think it kind of comes out though. There's no way they're overturning this, right?
No.
Well,
it's too tight.
Yeah, I don't know. I think whatever the call is on the field is going to stay.
Yeah.
This was some magical stuff from Sam Howell though. It's very, very.
What's LaFleur's track record for
challenges?
Yeah, it's they're not. That's not getting overturned.
Yeah,
it's a question of. I don't know that the ball was moving forwards, but it was definitely just off of his hand when it got hit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's not really great. Like if there was another angle, it might help too. I feel like we know the best angles there.
In 2024, he's had 5 challenges and they were all upheld, 0 overturned. 2023, here I could just share this. It's probably easier if I just. It's way too small. Never mind. That's way too small. That was way too small. You guys can't read that, right?
Let me get my microscope quickly. I need a fucking telescope to read that. Actually,
last year 9 challenges, 3 overturned, 6 upheld. Doesn't seem like he's
Not a good track record.
Not a good track.
Seems like he's not getting the calls from upstairs, is what it sounds like.
Seems like he's going by gut, or
He's
if it's
going by gut feel, like when Belichick used to pull that flag out of his sock and just drop it on the ground.
There's no way that was the best way to keep it. Like,
honestly, one of the I thought about that for way too many times. If you really had to throw that flag quickly and you had to reach down and pull it out of your sock,
Well,
not ideal.
Wasn't there one someone couldn't find it in like it was a really cold game and they didn't remember like where it was? Well, because like didn't it fall out? The whole thing that started, didn't someone like accidentally drop it? Like when they first like
yes, I know. I remember.
And then
that
everybody was like, "Yo, you gotta hide it, like so it doesn't happen." Then like everybody took it way too far, and now it's like now I think a lot of people like it's like some guy, some staffer, like has it, and then like you just follow the head coach around, and it's like, "Yo, I need the flag." That's your one job.
This,
cool
this
job,
game
Pat.
was flying, and now this
now it's
fourth
quit,
quarter is like
the Packers had like 3 possessions in this quarter. They've killed like a minute of clock in total on those possessions. I don't know what they're doing. I was gonna like 5 minutes ago. I was gonna come on and be like, someone asked a question about Coach of the Year, mentioning KOC, Andy Reid, and someone else, but they didn't mention LaFleur. I was about to say like, guys, don't you think LaFleur maybe might get a look here? But like after this debacle, like maybe not.
What was their win total? He wouldn't win it over. Like, there's no way he can win it over O'Connell. Yeah. Like, same division. Packers had much more preseason aspirations. Like, there's really no argument for
that's fair.
I'm with you.
LaFleur. So, I like Dan Campbell. Are you a Dan Campbell Coach of the Year guy, Rob? Or Jason? Anybody? I get it, but like I don't know, because like they were supposed to be pretty damn good, and like they're kind of come right around.
Yeah,
I mean, he's Coach of the Year right now.
It's got to be him.
Yeah,
I have futures, so I feel biased saying that though. Like,
I don't even know. Like I don't even know. Is he the favorite or I know Campbell was up there.
I think Campbell was the favorite, but like Campbell and Reid are in the same bucket to me, where it's like they're both had really high expectations coming into the season, but I think Reid has done more with less. But also, you could say Campbell. It's hard to give Campbell the
they're like the inverse of each other.
Yeah.
Like Reid has Mahomes, but like they don't have this crazy stacked offensive machine, and then Campbell has Jared Goff.
Are they going to take this why not decline this penalty? I
can't hear it.
They're replaying so they're going from 4th and 5 to 3rd and 15. It's gonna be 4th and 5 at their own 37. There's actually a decent chance McDonald punts this as a defensive coach, right?
No, I think McDonald's good.
Yeah,
I do.
I mean, Harbaugh punted on fucking 4th and 1 at midfield today against the Giants. I couldn't believe that one.
Harbaugh is, I don't know, man. I would love to know if there's like certain situations where they, like I remember other Harbaugh in this. Remember it was like I think it was against the Panthers late in the game, like second week of the year. He punted on like 4th and 1 or 2 at the plus side, like late in the game. Like I feel like sometimes they're just like, we're gonna make you drive 90 yards and we're gonna win the game, type of thing. That's the only way I can get it.
They just declined it now all of a sudden.
Yeah, they're punting it. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was saying. Like, why take it to go 3rd and 15 when on 4th and 5 there's a solid chance?
Oh, sorry. I know you're behind, but there was a very close.
This has to be a Jaden Reed muff.
Very close muff. Very close muff. That was worth the O. That was worth the O.
That's worth any muff is worth an O. Any muff.
You went for the tackles of the ball. What are you guys? Rob, I don't remember if you talked about this earlier, but did you talk about the Dan Campbell decision?
Onside kick. What? I don't understand. Again, results-based analysis.
Yeah.
They fucking could not get a stop to save their life. They had to steal a possession somehow.
Yeah.
So the other angle, again, I have like no math to support this, but the other angle of that is like if you don't get it, the Bills don't have as much field to like burn clock,
and they don't
like nobody brings up that.
The same thing would have happened. Yeah,
side of it. That's like the equivalent of like going for it on the 4th and 1 4th and goal on the 1, and like they get the ball at 99 yards away from the end zone. Like that's the benefit. Like that's, there was 12 minutes left. So like,
yeah,
if like you could still hold them to a field goal and reasonably have a shot if you got one stop. But that's what I like. Nobody was talking about. Like, yeah, you save time. They might run like 3 less minutes off the clock, but nobody wants to talk about that. So,
yeah. Well, like we saw,
I don't know if it's the right decision, but
yeah.
I don't think it's like people were like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah.
He's gambling out there. I'm like, no, like he's trying to steal a possession because
I would argue
doing incredible things.
Yeah. banking on that defense to stop Josh Allen is more of a gamble, if anything. Like,
agreed.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
So
I will say you probably do have to coach up your players and say, listen, don't let a guy run full speed down the sideline with the ball and score an auto touchdown.
Yes.
They got down to the 5.
Well,
like there needs to be some of that, but I don't mind the decision. You got to steal a possession. I also need to Dontavian Wicks to go away. No more Dontavian.
go away. Also, like Matt Collins, though, Matt Collins with that play, he tipped it forward. Like that could have gone disastrous. Like the way he did that.
I know he should have just jumped on. He got
good on him to catch it, but like that was like almost the perfect scenario, but didn't work out.
Yeah, I saw people was like 3 of 71 onside kicks have been successful this year or something like that.
Yeah,
you
got to announce the onside kick. It's so fucking
so
stupid,
dumb.
man.
Yeah.
Just
I kind of like the kickoff rule. Like I think it works except for the onside part.
What about the 4th and 10 from like, well, not 4th and 10, but like you get the ball at like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just get a first down to get it.
No? I don't know.
It'd be too easy for some teams. Like the Bills would probably just do that every time they'd kick off and they'd just get the ball every time.
Mm.
I don't know what the option is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Announce the play that almost never works.
Yeah, I know. Well, whatever.
Okay.
Went through the competition committee. These teams voted on it. Like, what are you going to do?
I feel like teams also just hated the onside kick anyways, like the sneak onside kick, unless you're like Bill Belichick or like Sean
Payton in the Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big balls. I think that was right out of the half. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still think the best onside is maybe just absolutely launching a line drive like at the closest guy.
I would love to see that.
Like so I think like in college it happened this year by accident. Like the kicker just like mishit it and it hit the up guy started like the turn to run and it hit him in the side. Like he tried to get out of the way. And I'm just like, dude, like the watermelon kick or whatever is like, I feel like that's difficult.
So played
and
out,
it worked one time and it looked really cool. And people were like, yo, this is going to be easy to replicate. I was like, no, this is terrible.
No,
so, like,
I'm a big fan of the old school where you kick the top of the ball and try to get that bounce that makes it go a mile in the air. No one does that anymore. The huge.
Well, you can't do the you can't hit before the you can't block, you can't blow people up. So like they're kind of protected to catch it. So like I feel like that's the part of the advantage that was lost there. But I still think that's better than watermelon kick.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd rather you just fire it at the top guy. Like give me Brandon Aubrey, which by the way I was terribly disappointed in his 70-yard attempt today. Like I wanted to bet he didn't hit it good. It was sad.
No, it was so good.
I was so excited, but like let me see him fire one at the closest guy. Right, like low at the shins, and like
just
let's
rip
see the
one
hand
direct.
scheme here. Let's see what we got.
I like that, man. I like that.
I think it's fun because then it can bounce anyway. Give it to me.
I'm gonna quickly hijack this and ask Austin a couple of college football questions.
Go for it. I'm gonna take a quick leak.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so Austin, I'm in a Calcutta for college football, and I know nothing about college football. So obviously just going to base it off odds, but anything that you like or do you feel like that is mispriced or like sneaky team that can sneak their way through that might not be one of the just anything along those lines?
I don't think there's I think it's pretty well priced. The problem being that the first round games are like all kind of they're all touchdown or higher, right? Like that makes it a little difficult to see the crazy variance in runs. But like Penn State's draw is super, super favorable. So they're kind of interesting to me. God, I just hate how the bracket broke out. I hate the format. I just want to throw it out there. Like that makes it.
Really?
I think
You like too many
I hate
teams?
no, like I hate the automatic the buys. Like I hate that.
Oh, like the conference
that
winners
Boise
get
and
the
Arizona State
Yeah.
are ahead of Texas and Penn State. Like I think
Yeah.
that's stupid. But yeah, I would Penn State just like I think SMU's not going to be able to handle them, so they'll be fine. And then I think Boise's the worst. I think they're worse than Arizona State. So they're kind of my team, but I think like in the futures market, they're priced pretty appropriately. So the long story short is that like of any of the dogs, I don't like any of them. Like
Okay.
that's
So just
problem.
avoid dogs.
I don't like now it's all price sensitive. If Calcutta, they're really short, then yeah. Do you get like an automatic if you take like Boise, do you get the payout of making the quarterfinal or
yeah, so the payout is round 1 win, quarterfinal win, final 4 win, champion win, all different percentages.
so if you
we have
does Boise get a round 1 win because they get
that's a good question.
Figure
I don't
that
know.
out.
I gotta ask. I probably
if
should.
they get the automatic like
I assume no, because only
forward.
four teams get it. So I assume that's
okay. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I just don't think any of those bottom teams like really have a shot, and that makes the Calcutta not as fun.
Okay.
Like this isn't like a March Madness where you can take like
like
someone like a 13-14 has a shot to like win a game or two. So yeah, just Penn State, like they're almost a double-digit favorite. They are double. What's the current line?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be 14-point favorites against Boise if they win, and then you get Georgia with possible quarterback problems. That's a dream draw for them. So hopefully, I didn't just increase their price for anybody who's listening.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't think anyone who's in the cutout is watching this. Actually,
good.
They would, but they're not watching tonight. Not watching.
Yeah. Like Ohio State is interesting to me because I think people are probably too low on them. But like their offensive line lost their 2 best players, and Tennessee has a really good defensive line. That's what Michigan just did to them. Michigan has a really good defensive line. So like I don't think that Tennessee's going to beat Ohio State, but like then it's even if Ohio State wins, it's like, oh, now you got to play the best team in the country. Good luck. So
I just rewound the previous 2 plays there. Why Green Bay chose to pass on 3rd down, only to run it directly up the middle on 4th down, was truly mind-boggling to me. That was the route they decided to go for. I mean, it's not going to matter anyways. I don't. Well, let's see.
Well, hey, don't count out.
Yeah,
Sam
I don't
Howell.
want to say that. Sam Howell's going to take another 3 sacks before this game ends, right? How many sacks did Gino take? Yeah, it's 1st and 10 here.
I'll say, do we have that? I'm trying to see where the
This guy is a sack machine. It's impressive. It's actually impressive.
he's taken 3 sacks.
For including
the
the
same
most
as
recent one.
No, he just took a sack,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the 3rd.
That was the 3rd? Okay.
Yeah, that's the same amount as Gino,
Oh my gosh.
which they might have the same number of dropbacks now. I don't know, or close to it, but probably not.
Oh my god, dude. Sam is
this guy.
I'm ahead of you guys. Sam is a priv. An absolute priv. And someone actually mentioned in the chat, Wilson TD, very, very, very live right now. Very live.
No,
right
it's not. It's not.
No?
Wilson TD's not live. Well, I don't think so. I don't think it's live unless Green Bay scores another touchdown first.
Wait, are you behind us though?
No, I saw the pick.
Oh, okay.
But Wilson's not going to be in this game yet.
Oh, you don't think so?
No.
You think? Oh, it's still. You think it's still too close?
10. It's too close.
It's still too close. Still too close.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think
No.
they're going to just keep running Jacobs unless it's officially out of reach.
What do you guys make of Edgerrin Cooper? By the way, I know he's been out for a couple games, and like I know that's like a random question, but a Packers beat writer who I follow on Twitter has just been like raving about how he's like the key cog in their defense that they've been missing.
Well, anytime you're missing a middle linebacker, like it matters, especially if they're the green dot guy. I like Edgerrin Cooper. I mean, like I'm not there's other bigger absences on defense for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, he's I'd say solid.
I know when he went out a few weeks ago, I was I have my own way of quantifying players, but I always run it by like other metrics. I know PFF has him like as a elite pass rusher.
Mm.
I'm not sure that that's really the case.
Okay.
You know, I think that's where a lot of people
see. Yeah. Who knows?
PFF has some interesting, like looking at it right now, he has 89.8 pass rush, which is like, I don't know if there'd be many people above him, but he's had like one elite game of pass rushing this year by their grades. I know it's scaled differently. It's season-long stats versus their game stats, but I just find that interesting.
Do you trust PFF grading or Joe A grading more?
You know, you gotta weight them a little even, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Joe A graded Will Levis an F today, which I mean, fair. He's finally come around. He graded Burrow as a D- in that game against
today.
Tennessee. Yeah. Which I know he threw a couple.
And Levis got an A, probably, right?
No, he gave Levis an F.
Oh, okay.
But Levis
you hope since he got benched, but like,
yeah. Well, Levis was 8 for 12 with 3 interceptions, so he got an F. I don't know how Burrow ended with a D-. I'm very, very curious on what the Sam Howell grade is going to be if we get to see one today, because he loves Sam Howell.
Oh,
loves Sam Howell.
Did he release a Rudolph grade or no?
Gonna have to. No, I don't think he would have. He would have given up on that game. He would have given up on that game.
Yeah.
Rudolph, man. I'm not falling for that fool's gold today.
Thoughts on Tampa Bay to win the NFC?
Oh, what are they priced at right now?
Yeah, it's relative to price, I guess. I mean, I don't.
NFC markets aren't listed on FanDuel right now.
Okay.
I'm sure you can
I would say my price. I'd probably need like 25 or 30 to 1 to feel decent on that. Is that too high? Am I nuts there? Or am I too low, I guess? 15 to 1 on DK? I don't love that.
To win the NFC?
Dobbs. Wow.
No, I don't like that price personally.
Yeah, I would need 25 or 30-ish.
Did he catch that? Was that actually a catch?
It looked like it. I might be mistaken here.
I think he did.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. Wow, good hands.
Fuck, that's a great hands catch.
Good hands.
Great hands catch.
Good hands.
Wow. I want to listen to Collinsworth right now. Give me 1 second. Oh, he's so excited. He's so excited about that. Love that. All right. At least that means Wicks is not on the field. Gonna have to dodge some Charbonnet stuff.
I mean, I'm sure Sam Howell's just going to take 3 sacks on the next 3 plays and then just.
This is a big drive for
Fez. This is going to be the
big
Sam
drive.
Howell, like 7 of 8, all dump offs. The Packers are just packing it in. This is how it works.
Hopefully not the Charbonnet.
Can we get a Kenny McIntosh in there or what?
Why? You bet him anytime touchdown?
No, just get him in there so Charbonnet doesn't catch him.
Charbonnet. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, sorry.
I didn't think it was all that confusing.
It's been a long day.
Yeah. I noticed one of those numbers was wrong on Pizza Buffet this morning.
No.
Chargers
no.
Bucks number made me look like an asshat. Put Chargers minus 4.1 in there.
Hold on. I need to.
Did you not produce this morning?
Yeah, no, I did.
You admitted to it in the chat during the show.
Yeah,
Very
obviously.
useful.
Well, that is being a good producer. Where even if you said you might have made the mistake, and I said no, you made the mistake, or I made the mistake. Sorry.
Yeah, because I checked really quickly and realized I didn't make the mistake. I just don't know where that number came from. There was no other 4.1s on the sheet.
Yeah, I don't know where that 4.1 came from either.
Yeah, do I?
No, it was in Tennessee. That's why.
Oh, yeah,
My bad.
it's tough. That's what happens, man. You spend too much time creating fucking Anthony Glenn burners.
What?
Not
I don't
focusing
need
on
to
those
get
graphics.
accused of. I don't need to get accused of impersonating. Like, identity theft is illegal. It's not cool.
Do you think do people care about the notes in those in the graphics on Pizza Buffet? I need to know from the chat.
I find them valuable.
I know, but they take a lot of work.
Can you like input your numbers and chat GPT it kind of thing, or
I don't want to do that either. It's got to be like real. They do like the notes. All right, John, you answered yes.
Weed
Keep it
man.
going. Yeah.
So Tampa Bay is 33-1 to win the Super Bowl on FanDuel. That's not great.
I could see Tampa going on a run. I mean, they're
I could
clearly
too,
worse. I can
The
see
NFC
the run.
is so strong. That's my only worry. But
It's just like
they're gonna get a
how
home
have I
game.
priced Tampa this year? I mean, they would have to really go on a run.
well,
But my thing is how many games in a row can you get of Baker like playing near the top of his like distribution? And I don't know if I'm comfortable there.
how do you feel like about the teams around them though? Like Steelers 27-1, Texans 30-1, Rams
Steelers
36-1,
Well,
Commanders 45-1.
yeah, no thanks on the, I you know what? I have not been a believer of the Steelers all year, and I think I came on last week and or maybe it was 2 weeks ago and said to Rob that maybe it's starting to turn. But I still don't think they cannot move the ball on a competent defense. So I'm good on them. And their defense is like low key, little shady the last few weeks.
What Super Bowl do you want to see?
Oh, if you told me,
Sorry, Chiefs. Would you say Chiefs and who?
Eagles.
You want to see Chiefs Eagles, but because of futures bets.
Yes.
Okay, forget about the futures for a second.
Okay,
Let's pretend the futures don't exist.
Future doesn't exist.
What
There's
Super
no
Bowl?
tomorrow.
If you hadn't bet anything, which Super Bowl do you want to see?
my answer would be different if Detroit was healthy on defense. I'd put them there like firmly, but like Eagles probably now is the NFC team for me, and then I'm pretty content with Chiefs or Bills because both of the Bills are awesome, and then the Chiefs are just like the three-peat. Those are my teams. I know it's a cop out because I picked two for both conferences. But
Ate a sack.
Who would you want, Rob?
I'd like to see the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I'm having a hard time picking the NFC. I want like
Vikings?
kind of a rare matchup.
I would like Vikings, but like I also don't know if I'm prepared for Sam Darnold to like maybe win a Super Bowl.
USC.
But he's been good, so like I can't fault him for that.
So the thing is, I think Lamar Jackson is really good, but he'll never get the credit until he gets that deep playoff run.
It's true.
And I kind of think that, listen, you are who you are at the end of the day. And if he can't do that in his career, then he should be remembered for it. But I kind of hope that he's just not remembered for that because he's such a dynamic player and has been.
I was going for straight vibes of the game. I wasn't going for you had a deeper thought than me. I wasn't in that mind frame. I will second that though. If I could have a third team for the AFC,
I know it's obviously not possible. I wish we could get two of three of the Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens playing each other in the Super Bowl. I'd obviously never would be possible, but like I just want to see that like Mahomes versus Allen for a Super Bowl, or like Allen versus Lamar Jackson.
In the AFC, I want the
AFC.
Steelers and the Texans to lose in the first round.
Yes.
Because that would be best for viewing pleasure.
Yes,
going
I agree.
forward. Like
Can
the
we
AFC
talk
playoffs
about-
gonna be lit if that happens.
Can we talk about the Seahawks punting there?
Yeah,
I was gonna bring
McDonald's
it up,
kind
but
of
I thought we
tough,
forgot
yeah.
about the game here. But yeah,
No, I just expected to turn around and see a 4th down play, and I saw Green Bay like receiving a punt.
That was Sam Howell
punt
with
going out of
a like
bounds.
35% sack rate today.
Emmanuel Wilson's getting got that carry on 1st down.
He's in the game.
Can we
Can
get Emmanuel
he?
Wilson?
Is he disciplined enough to go down if he were to break one? That's the question. But I think it doesn't really
No, I
matter.
think
for him.
doesn't
now
matter.
you're-
It would go
Yeah,
out of
now
How you
it's-
score.
Yeah. You're
But then
there's a
Mike
threshold. You're too
Durso's going
far
to
ahead.
lose his under, and he's not going to be happy with us.
I don't want that to happen for Durst, but I feel like Durst also bet it, so he's like conflicted.
It is true. It's conflicting.
Whichever one wins him more is what I'm cheering for right now. So, but I don't know which one.
Are the Bengals still alive in the playoffs? Could they go on an absolute heater run and make the playoffs?
I'm trying to
Like it's not going to happen, but I
They-
just are they?
They still technically are alive.
I've decided I want to see Ravens Commanders Super Bowl. It's not happening, but that's what I've settled on.
I don't know if I'm ready for the Commanders. I don't know
They
why.
played this year. It would be a rematch of that game.
Ravens Commanders.
I wouldn't hate that. I don't know if there's an NFC team that I would hate going through really in like the current. If like
I
we
could
assume
I could
Rams-
root for a Bucs Super Bowl run. I like the Bucs. I like watching Bucs games.
Oh yeah, like I like Rams. I could root for the Bucks. I could root for.
But the Rams have a lot of games that are pure stinkers. The Bucs don't
Yeah.
have stinker games.
Yeah, but if
for
the
starters.
Rams make a run to the Super Bowl, it's because Stafford's doing some fun things.
That's true, but they also have gone to a that was a Jared Goff Super Bowl, so it's not fair.
Yeah, their
but-
Super Bowl against the Bengals was fun with Stafford. It was a fun one, kind of.
I actually like the Vikings as a franchise a lot. I root for the Vikings, but I don't want to see Sam Darnold make a Super Bowl.
Well, here's my thing too,
because
because I'm in the same boat. I like the Vikings. I like Kevin O'Connell. If Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl and they have to let him walk, one that's like really probably never been done before, but really interesting. And I still think it's the right move going forward, despite him winning a Super Bowl. Like that would be a fun offseason discourse.
Well, what if Darnold got them to the Super Bowl and he played well and they lost? They'd sign Darnold and trade McCarthy, wouldn't they?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can do it. My thing is Kevin O'Connell has made Kirk Cousins look at the best, and he just made Sam Darnold look amazing. Like you take your shot, I think.
Rob won't say the Lions because of Knish. This is true. At 100, like of all the people I know that would be rubbing it in, it would be him. He wouldn't be like a good sport about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that.
And the fact that Michigan won the national championship last year, and then he gets the Lions Super Bowl this year. That's too much joy for one person, you know.
And then number one recruit in the country as well. Like,
yeah,
is he the number one recruit? I don't know. Quarterback, I don't know. Don't know enough about Michigan.
He is the number one recruit. Yes,
he is okay.
Yeah. I'm actually really excited for the playoffs. Anybody but Houston and Pittsburgh.
What a great comment. Lions fan here. I almost don't want the Lions because
Are they really just going to run this game out?
I mean, I think it's probably the right move.
Who is that? Who is that running?
Hulani? Halloumi?
Halloumi. Oh, Halloumi's a
Great
banger,
cheese.
man. I
Squeaky
fucking love
cheese.
it.
It's great.
You ever fry up some halloumi? Put it on top of a salad? Oh man.
I do it sandwich.
Be
Halloumi
life changing. Fry up some halloumi, put it in a salad with some like cranberries and seeds and like a little bit of feta. Ooh. Hello. Who is this guy? George Holani
from Boise
State, undrafted, 25-year-old back.
He held GT's water, I guess, last year.
No, it's
Sorry.
jock
No, he
strap.
had
He
a
held his jock
pretty-
strap.
That was mean.
He had a pretty solid
Okay.
career.
Okay. Well, I'm just an asshole. But I think we already knew that.
Just got to get this to the wire for Durso here. Got to get the under the wire for Durso. Fez not happy. I'm sure there'll be a couple releases tomorrow that are not available at BPH or at Circa or Chris or Pinnacle or anywhere really. But they'll be South Point and DK maybe, something like that. Oh, rip a shower orange before bed.
Is a bath orange like a faux pas, or can we only do it in the shower?
It's a good question.
And
I
sit
still am
on
very
the-
confused on what you do with the peel at that. Like you don't just
You
throw it on your
eat the
shower.
peel. This is
No,
not
you're
like
You're
we've
not
been
just
over
throwing
this
over
before.
the-
I literally ate the peel.
My shower's enclosed though. It's fully enclosed.
You gotta open the door,
And
pitch
just
it out there real
toss-
quick.
Toss it out.
Do you have a shower bucket?
Fuck, I'm gonna do a shower hot tub this week. Oh man, shower
does that
sauna's gonna
work?
be terrible.
What's shower? Wait, I'm so confused.
Have a shower in the sauna.
How do you have a shower?
No,
in the
sorry.
sauna? What?
I was gonna say, I was starting. I'm like, how does that work here?
It's like,
An orange in the
okay,
sauna.
there we go. That makes more sense. Okay.
Orange hot tub.
I was
All right.
so confused. I'm like, what is he talking about right now?
Well,
Time to go to
we've
bed.
reached the conclusion of this game. The good news is we won our bets. We lost the SGP, but we won our bets. And any day where you can win some bets is a good day. Dontavian Wicks under, ends with 2 catches. And of course, Zach Charbonnet, just the 1 for 12. Austin, appreciate you. Have a good week. Best of luck.
Thanks for having me, man. Until next time.
Vikings
Enjoy.
-7. We got to get it tomorrow.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Got to get it. Lots of pressure. Austin Mock, everyone, from The Athletic. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at AMock419 if you don't already. Appreciate everyone in the chat, including you, Durso. Congrats on the win. Also, I never really noticed that image you got there, but it's very professional looking. A little too professional, in my opinion. Just going to examine that one more time. What I don't like about this image is that you don't have your arms crossed and visible. That would make it a little bit more real. But to each their own. Thanks everyone who tuned in tonight. I am back tomorrow. Monday Night Football. We got 2 games going on. Got 2 TV screens. Going to be watching both in real time. Going to go live before the early game. What time's the early game tomorrow? 8 p.m. Chicago, Minnesota. So I'll plan to be live around 7:45. Rip as many Chicago, Minnesota bets as possible. And then Atlanta, Las Vegas bets as well. And we'll watch both. Thanks to all who tuned in. If you don't mind, on your way out the door, make sure you smash that like button. Just drop a 1 in the chat as well. If you enjoyed tonight's stream, let me know. 1 in the chat. For myself, Rob Pizzola, for Austin Mock, for Jeff Feinberg, Clive Bixby, producer Jason Cooper. This has been another watch along right here on the Forward Progress YouTube channel, presented by FanDuel. Peace out, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night.